Okay, so we're starting. So this matchup was requested to me a lot by people. A lot of Peach players really struggle against Rob and want me to do a set review. So much so that I'm gonna make this into a two-part series where I'm gonna look at Ling Ling and Mudace versus Zamba because these both of these sets took place pretty recently, and I think it's really good to look at two top level Peach players versus the best Rob in the world. I think he's the best Rob in the world. He has the best results. So yeah, I think this is really good to look at. And also, Ling Ling and Mudace kind of have different ways of approaching the game and have different strengths that are worth going over. So we're going to be looking over what they do right as well as what they do wrong, because I think it's really valuable to see how they use Peach's tools correctly in order to fight Rob. Rob is a character where you're going to be fighting him a lot throughout Ultimate. If you don't know the matchup, it's just going to be much harder for you. It's one of these matchups like Crom and Roy, Palutena, Wolf, those type of characters that are just really easy and really common that you need to know how to fight as Peach. And Rob is definitely one of them. So how does this matchup work? Well, I think it's better to look kind of here first because this will kind of show it where Rob's a character where he wants to put down gyro, right? He wants to put down gyro and see how you play around it. That's basically the whole point of his neutral. I want to pause it here because it's a lot easier to see it visually like this. Because in this set, it's going to be a lot more fast paced because it's like top level. So it's not like super easy to see, but mid range is super, super important in this matchup. Um, I think this matchup overall is like even or slight losing for Peach, mainly because for two reasons. The big reason is similar to Yoshi. Rob needs to hit Peach less times than you need to hit him, and Rob can get over Peach's pressure and ledge traps by recovering high, and he can land and beat Peach's up air with Nair. You can juggle him with up air, but you have to time it perfectly or very precisely, and Rob can just like press Nair and it can beat it if he so chooses. If for the most part, so that's really difficult. It's just difficult to kill him and keep him in disadvantage compared to other heavy characters because he can recover high and beat Peach's juggles, which is important. And the other reason is in neutral. Rob's kind of like a sword character where his aerials are really good at just like walling out Peach, and his projectiles go with that really well because they kind of limit Peach's movement. Nair especially is really big, and against really broken Nairs like Palutena, Rob, Ken, Link, the mentality you want to have against these Nairs is make it as hard as possible for them to land it on you or convert off of it. So that's something to keep in mind. And the way you do that with Peach is you want to play more grounded. Just to have access to shield, to parry, because stuff like parry punishes and parry down tilt, especially against sword characters and Rob, are extremely crucial. So ground movement's super important, but we're also going to mention Rob's blind spot, which is good to mention because you can also mix up float in certain spots, which is important. We'll see Ling Ling and Mudace do that, which is worth mentioning. And another really big deal is all of Peach's aerials have a very big use in this matchup. JCFF, I think Nair especially, is really good. A lot of mid to low level Peach players don't really. It's not very obvious at first that Nair is a good tool for Peach, but it's pretty low committal. Even though it's small, it's a good anti air, and Rob's Nair has a little bit of startup, so you can end up just stuffing out his Nair with Peach's Nair in certain spots, which we'll see. So that's worth mentioning. But there's a lot more to mention, but that's kind of the basics. You want to play very patient and grounded against Rob. It's like a sword character where you can't like force your way in. Turnips are really good because they can anti-air Rob and just shut down the Nair because again it has startup. But yeah, without further delay, let's just look into this set.
These guys have been on a crazy run as well. Ling has
As for stages, it's kind of weird because the thing about Rob is he can be played in multiple different ways. Item characters like Snake, Peach, Diddy, Pac-Man can have a variety of play styles because of items. There's a lot of flexibility you can have with them. So I think it's up to player preference and what you feel comfortable fighting against that playstyle against Rob. Against aggressive Robs, I just don't like going to Smashville because their aerials can cover a lot more space. But against Robs that are very patient but have a really good advantage state, I just wouldn't really want to take them to something like Battlefield. I think Town is okay. Kalos is kind of weird, but yeah, overall, I think it's up to you have to be patient and read the Rob's playstyle before you like be hard set on counter picks.
Beat Mr. E
But yeah,
now.
PS2 is alright if you're unsure.
Capitancito and Omar, so that double
So,
Dominican
let me
fight
full
there.
screen. Sorry about that. Full
Beat
screen it.
both, or 2 out of 3 of the representatives of the Dominican Republic
Oh.
here at Pound. Meanwhile,
This is a
Zom,
weird start.
or 2
Let's
out
go back to
now,
the start.
Capitancito and Omar.
So, against Rob, the start of the game, I know it's kind of a meme at this point, but it's like, don't pull turn up, just take center stage. Center stage is good against heavies because if they're in the corner and you're big, it's hard to get out of the corner. Everybody likes to meme Rob as big, but stage control is good. But I wouldn't say it's as crucial in this matchup compared to other matchups. It's still really good because, fundamentally Peach with stage control is really good and really broken, but you don't want to like pull this turnip immediately just because of laser. Instead, I would just play it patient and try to read the Rob's playstyle first, more than anything, rather than like pulling turnip and just like autopiloting. So it's kind of a meme. You won't eat a huge punish as you see here. Ling just takes like 5 damage, which isn't too bad. But the thing is, you have to worry about Rob needs less hits on you, and taking unnecessary damage from Rob is very, very bad.
Fight there, beat
So,
both.
something to
2
mention.
out of 3 of the representatives.
I'm going to start by saying I like this dare here. It's a good idea because for 2 reasons. Rob's out of shield is not that good. It's similar to Wolf where once you get up close to Rob, there really isn't too many things he can do around Peach's shield pressure, especially if you start crossing him up. Heavies especially are very vulnerable to Peach's cross-up shield pressure and mix-ups. And floating here, especially if he has the gyro in hand, he can't just like hit you, right? He can't just like throw it in front of him. Similar to the Diddy vid where it's like Peach in the air is just kind of hard to deal with if you're holding an item. Especially because Dare is so good for pressuring that, and most other characters can't just like touch characters with an item and shield and get away with it. Unless you're like Sheik or Mario, where you have like -2 aerials, you can't really do that, but Peach can. The other reason I like this dare is because Rob is in the corner. So if Ling Ling does land this down air, and say we're like perfect with our turnip combos, which I know Ling Ling's really good at turnip combos, as you can see like by his Twitter, or if you've heard of this guy, then you can probably 0 to death him realistically. Because heavies, he's a fast faller. It's much easier to hit heavies if they're big. So I like the idea here. What I don't like is he doesn't cover roll. And this is kind of another fundamental part of the matchup. You really want to cover roll against Rob more than anything. Because once Rob, it's kind of what I was saying earlier, where Rob is really big, and if he's in the corner, then it's going to be a lot harder for him to get out of there. It's kind of the same for a lot of other heavies and why Peach kind of just like beats most heavies. It's because you're big and now you have to deal with Peach's big hitboxes while you're in the corner, and you don't have the airspeed to just jump away from Peach's pressure. Like say a Chrom, like a Zero Suit or Joker, where they can just shift the hitbox while having decent airspeed to get out of there. So I like the dare. It's just I personally would have tried to cover the roll here. Like I would have kept floating and drifted this way and then try to cover the roll. I think it's super important to not let Rob roll for free and try to bait out rolls against him the most.
Republic here at Pound. Meanwhile, Zomba
Another thing you want to do is see what the Rob does after landing. So Rob will jump a lot versus you because he can air camp Peach because he has bigger hitboxes. So it's really important to see what the Rob does after landing. So we see landing with a nair or a gyro, which is good. So normally after the Rob jumps, you can jump. I mean, after the Rob lands, you can jump and pressure with down air.
Once again, there's
Super
not
good.
much.
So there's nair into down tilt. So usually it's some grounded option or shield or gyro, which you can jump over into his blind spot, right?
Left to say about Zomba that any other commentator has said it.
But
this kid is definitely the Zombear, the prodigy.
That's kind of what I was talking
Zomba
about
that
here,
any
where
other
he
commentator
did
has
just
said
what I
it.
said,
This kid,
where after he landed, he shields or he uses a grounded, so Ling opts to go in the air. Very smart,
is
and then he pressures with dare. So I like
the
what he's
Zombear,
doing.
the prodigy, Absolutely.
Another
Vink
thing
has
to
said it.
mention that I
This
like
kid
that he
is
did here
definitely the
is
Zombear, the
he
Prodigy.
opts to stay on the ground and up tilt. So
Absolutely,
weirdly
commentator has
enough,
said it. This
like I
kid
said
is
about up
definitely
air, right?
the Zombear,
Rob's
the
Nair
Prodigy.
can beat up air, but up tilt can actually be a decent option in this matchup. Up tilt's pretty rare. It's like F tilt where it's super niche and only certain matchups where it kind of shines as a mix up. In this one especially, the hitbox is big enough to catch Rob's landing, and up smash can be a really decent option to get kills versus Rob's landings. So I'm really liking how he's approaching this so far. He definitely knows the matchup.
Absolutely.
And he goes back to the ground and drops to the platform. So it's kind of what we were saying in the other videos. Don't overextend with juggling. It's better to just stay on the ground to have access to shield to parry something like this landing there.
He's annoying.
Like there. So what he did there. So a lot of what Zamba's doing is just naring and then shielding.
Sometimes he throws, you know, there's so much to say about Zamba though.
And this kind of
Sometimes
goes
he
with what I was
throws.
saying. Rob has a blind spot here. And Ling, I think he was in the air
You
too
know,
long, so he tries to read the jump out of shield. You always want to read what Rob does out of shield. Normally jump, so I'm liking he does this.
There's so much
And like
to
you said,
say.
if he shoots gyro or laser, you can just float right over that. And then fast fall right back to the ground. So I think he was in the air too long, but it was a good example of showcasing Rob's blind spot. He can fair you, but Peach's fair outranges his fair. You can anti-air Rob. There's just a lot of stuff you can do, and then you can come down for like a punish or shield pressure here. So float is a good mix-up. You want to generally stay grounded, but you can float over stuff like gyro or laser in a pinch. And I think Mudace does a really good job, as well as Ling Ling later in the second game. But he just misspaces the bear.
Quits out of Mario Party when he's about to lose.
Yeah, it's true. But gonna be able to find the Nair up air. Rob, once again, chat is big. So
Nope.
I don't like this here. So against Rob, you really want to avoid wasting your float because he just floated in down right there. And float's super important against Rob because it's a really, really, really helpful landing mix-up. And I'll probably mention it later, but you have to respect Rob's advantage state because if Rob hits you, he has one of the best advantage states in the game because he can nair you, and then you've probably seen the 0 to death combos from him. Rob has really good ledge trapping with his back air and gyro to just kind of limit what Peach does. And overall, you just have to respect it. You can't force your way out here because see, you're taking a lot of unnecessary damage here. You can recover high, but
gonna be able to find the Nair up there. Rob, once again, chat is big. So
Nope.
Another way Robs can use gyro. Here, hold on. Let me make sure I'm recording. While this ad goes, all right, we are recording. Just making sure, because it can be scary. But yeah,
I think we. I don't know if chat can hear that, but we certainly can.
As we were saying,
I think chat can certainly hear that.
1:30 or something.
It should be a punish for Zomba. No mixes up with the parasol drift.
Yeah, loving.
Ling go for Ling, but good awareness.
So
Nope.
but gonna be able to find the Nair up
have to respect his
Rob,
advantage state.
once again,
Just get to the
chat
ground.
is
But yeah, like I was saying, another way
Yeah,
Robs
it's
can
true.
use gyro
But gonna be able to find the
is
Nair
they can
up
just
there.
like do
Rob,
this
once again.
and then try to like beta jump. But that's pretty common amongst most charge characters, as they'll like flash it and then make you jump and then they'll anti-air you. So better just to stay grounded.
Is big. So
And there's the landing nair into down tilt.
Nope.
So already seeing a pattern, landing nair, grounded.
Normal size.
okay, well,
We're just small.
it's true.
And there we go again.
we go.
I love
No, he's
this
not.
option
He's normal size.
in this
Okay,
matchup.
well,
We're just
Super good
It's true.
is a JCFF nair here. It goes right into Rob's blind spot as well as avoid the down tilt pressure while also being safe on shield. So this diagonal pressure from Peach is super good against Rob. Super, super good, and you can always mix up with it. And nair is just such a good option against Rob. So I'm liking this already. It's a really good poke.
Here we go, though. Link gonna be
Air
able to
landing down tilt. That could.
And I like what he did there. He didn't overextend. He tried to fair and then landed with shield. So he got to the ground first in order to get something like a parry.
Could have been huge for Ling.
And there it is again, where you can just like mix up with float and then jump over the gyro and punish. So that's the way you want to use float. You don't want to be in the air too long. You just want to use it to quickly avoid something like a projectile and kind of condition Rob to shoot laser in a certain direction or throw out fairs.
But good awareness from Zomba to be able to jump out of that
All
to
right.
escape.
So like we were saying about juggling Rob, what's really good in this matchup is throwing turnip up. Oftentimes, what I'll do is I'll throw it up, catch it again, and then throw it up again. Like I'll just throw it up, jump, catch, jump. Yeah, I'll throw it up, full hop, catch, and then throw it up again. Because like we said, this will kind of stop Rob from just like naring. It'll catch him from under. So it's really good. You don't want to overextend when juggling. It's the main point versus Rob.
Out of that to escape to the top platform.
Interesting up B. I kind of like it because the risk reward would have meant Rob would have died. And this will condition air dodges later on, which you can read to get kills. Because against heavies, it's very important to condition for kills. Heavies, Lucario, Terry, it's more important than ever to try to condition for kills because you really need them. Because with the lead, you have more flexibility in what you can do. But it was risky, but Ling wouldn't have taken a really hard punish. So sometimes versus Rob and other characters where you just need the kill, you sometimes have to go for these risky options that won't get you punished super hard. So I kind of like what he did there.
But this should be a punish for Zomba. No mixes up.
And see, he only takes like 15% when the reward would have been he would have died. So, and there it is again in his blind spot. And he's catching the jump out of shield, which is really
loving
good.
The back airs out of shield coming out from Ling as well. Once again, Ling has also been on a terror in their own.
I don't like
back
this
airs
here.
out of shield coming out from Ling as well.
So the thing versus Rob when ledge trapping is Fair is like the go-to. Fair is so good at covering a lot of space, and Rob is big, so it's going to be harder for him to avoid it. And it also anti-airs his jumps out of the corner, and will also catch the roll, which is very important versus Rob. So instead, you could have either tried to space a Z-drop catch Fair here, or try to bait out the roll with movement. Either one's really good, and maybe you can do like Z-drop up smash. I don't know. You can get really creative with how you want to pressure Rob, but instead, you want to just maintain covering roll. It's more important.
Ling has also been on a terror.
But yeah, then he double jumps there. So his main way of escaping Rob's pressure is double jump float. And I don't agree with that. You can double jump away, but you really need that float for situations like this where you really need to land versus Rob.
And as well, recently picking up their first win on Mars at CT GamerCon.
Very nearly beat Light as well.
Yeah, there it is again. See, that was good. Where he double jumped, saved the float. It's just float's so important against Rob in disadvantage. It helps you get around his 2 frames with down air, and it's just helpful for landing. But let's talk about the ledge trapping a little bit. Rob's ledge trapping is pretty good, but the way you can get around most projectile ledge traps is either you don't want to choose an immediate option if they've already set up the ledge trap, or try to get out of the ledge trap as soon as possible before they set up. So like Ling jumped here before he shot out the gyro, which was good because he escaped before he set it up. But if Rob sets it up, then don't choose something immediately is your main way of doing it. You can catch the gyro, which is really helpful. I just want to mention that. But yeah, you want to play around their main projectile when you're trying to escape ledge traps versus these zoners.
GamerCon.
Very nearly beat Light as well.
Oh. Yes, very, very true. So,
okay, here's another important thing. I'm just trying to go over all the basics for this matchup, just so you know.
Yes,
and another thing is versus projectile characters, when they're off stage, wait for them to throw a projectile at you first. Like Laser or Gyro, other characters like Robin will probably throw like an L Thunder here. Richter will throw like Cross or something. So just a general rule versus projectile characters is don't pull turnip too early because you can get hit by this projectile, and you don't want to give Rob extra chip damage when you're in advantage or disadvantage. It's a really crucial part of fighting him. So when you hit Rob off stage here,
went on Mars at CT GamerCon.
Very nearly beat Light as well.
Yes.
Wait for the projectile first.
Very true.
He had enough time to pull turnip, but wait for this projectile first.
Oh, back air, gonna send Zomba off. Zomba going to go for the landing there.
Another thing you can do here is instead of pulling this turnip, you could have just caught the gyro, and it's like a turnip too, where you can just catch it and throw it up at Rob, which is really good because it's like anti-airs him, makes it much easier to catch his landings. So I don't agree with the second turnip pull. Instead, just prioritize getting this because it's like a turnip anyways. And you're throwing it up in the air to where Rob won't really have access to it. But yeah, he catches the landing nair and he throws it up. So
landing nair on stage, but here comes Ling.
I like what he's doing here.
Turnip. Let's see if they can get this.
So edge guarding Rob's kind of tricky. You don't want him to recover high for free. He's like Snake and other high recovery characters where you want to double jump and then try to catch him if you can at lower percents. But here he tries to like bait it out and see he just like catches him right there. So that's really good. Sometimes you can go low and down air to try to force Rob to up air, and then you can really mix up with him off stage with using Toad later to get kills.
So, gonna be able to get the first turn up. Let's see if they can
like here, I like what he did here. He was like, okay, go back off stage. What I would have done was instead of pulling turnip, I would have floated like right down here, try to force Rob to press a button. And then later in the game, you can float out there and use Toad to just like kill him to end the game sometimes. It's really, really smart way to fight Rob off stage. It's just kind of forcing that up air and forcing a button off stage by being in his general area or just baiting him. But turnip's pretty safe. I don't blame him. But yeah, you can throw the turnip up here, which is really good.
Also no longer had a jump there, so that was a very dangerous spot to be in off stage because he had to air dodge back to avoid the.
And yeah, what I was saying about his blind spot is you have to mix it up. So you can't always just swing like most mid to lower level PAZs would have just tossed fair out here, but instead you always have to mix up around gyro. And instead, it was really smart for him to bait the roll, which Zomba has been doing a lot. So I really like what he did there. It was just mix it up. Catches the gyro, and yeah, that was really good. Catch it again, and instead, I wouldn't throw it down here. Instead, I would have thrown it up and kept it for the ledge trap, because if Rob is like at that distance, just give it up. Just go for the ledge trap instead, where he's at 165, and you have a better chance of throwing the gyro up and either trying to bait a roll or using fair to try to trade and kill him.
Pick of projectiles to use here.
Oh, but it ends up working out. But yeah, there it is again. The projectile off stage that we were talking about is, yeah, don't throw the turnip too early because that is transcendent, the laser. Yeah, you just have to be ready for this projectile off stage.
Between the turnips and the gyro, just because he can use either one to its fullest extent.
And another reason fair is super good is because most Robs like to just shoot gyro in the corner, and double jump cancel fair just like goes right over it and hits him, and it catches his jump. So it's so good against Rob. I like
either one to its fullest extent.
So yeah, he does that, and I like how he's mixing up his movement here. Whereas originally, he would double jump here, and then he wanted to catch the roll, so he baited the roll again, and then he goes over here with the nair, which is low committal, and catches like a jump at a shield, which is very smart. So and see it as low end lag, to where he can jump over the down tilt and then cover the next option. So that's why nair is really good up close. It anti-airs, and it's just a very fast, safe poke to where you can cover another option afterwards, like Ling is doing here. So, very good stuff from Ling so far. It seems very small, but it definitely adds up over time. Let me go back. So yeah, if you, with Peach, sometimes if you're using air movement, you can double jump again and then land with the nair. Or you can double jump and then do a JCFF nair, which is really fast as a mix-up. Because for instance here,
just because he can use either one to its full.
He wanted to, yeah, he did this to avoid the gyro, and then he went back to cover, did this jump to cover the roll. So,
very true.
And then he landed with nair for coverage.
Well, once again, first stock not going off so easy between both these players.
The only issue I'm seeing here is Ling is relying a little too much on air movement. Instead, you want to use more walking. SH JCFF, if you know how to use it, is really good because it brings up shield out of your initial dashes, Peach, and it's super helpful. So I think he's relying too much on the nair here when now he's going to start anti-airing.
Both these players,
so don't be afraid. It's okay to just walk and shield as Peach and play patient at this mid-range here because you don't want to be in Rob's airspace to where he can do this. And if you do something like a rising nair. And Rising Nair doesn't really have a lot of end lag, so sometimes you can do like a full hop Rising Nair against him, and before you land, you can float, which is a really good mix-up. But yeah, I think here he had a decent idea. The only issue was I think it would have been better to just do a jump Nair here and then kind of retreat if you wanted to use air movement, or just stay on the ground and shield Either one's fine. But yeah.
Easy between both these players. Zamba going to be able to find the nair. Can't find the up air to go with.
Very
so
interesting
Ling
air
is
dodge,
going to punish
but
with
he kind of
that
got
back air.
lucky there.
Finally,
All right, with turnips,
Can't find the up
this is
air
how
to
you
go
have to think
with,
about turnips in
so
this matchup.
Ling is going to punish with that.
Turnips are really good, but you don't want to pull them too obviously because of laser. Laser's like the main issue. But you think of turnip as a way of no nair at this instance tool, I guess. A no nair pass. I don't know the best way to describe it, but you can throw it in the air to deny nair for a moment of time, which is good. And it also pokes him at that angle, which is super good. It's also a good out of shield and really good for pressure. But mainly I like to use it to just shut off nair for a moment while I'm approaching Rob. So that's how you have to think of it. To just cut off, just anti-air Rob to get a little bit closer. Because you have to space around the nair at all times versus Rob. It's just fundamental to fighting him. And Turnip just says, nope, you can't nair right now. And you just throw it and kind of go from there.
Finally, that float cancel back air closes out the stock nearly 2
Oh.
minutes in. And
All right, so here, it was a good idea. I like what he did. He went low. Well, he didn't go low. He went under ledge, he up air. But here, just grab ledge. Once you hit this up air, don't even try to like convert off of a combo. This is a free way to get back to ledge or to stage, which is more important. And at ledge with the turnip, you can throw turnip off of ledge to anti-air some of Rob's ledge traps because Rob likes to jump, right? But back air and they have startup, so you can throw the turnip off of ledge to anti-air him to get off of ledge for free sometimes. The Rob can read it, but it's a super way to disrupt his ledge trapping when he's trying to pressure you with aerials. Because again, it has startup and turnip anti-airs. So it's just a free anti-air free card is what turnip should be used for.
2 minutes in and
Yeah, you definitely should have gone to ledge there instead of just like trying to convert off of it. Just go to ledge.
Zamba drifts
That up
all
air
the
definitely
way out
kind
there,
of lets you do that for
chasing
free.
Ling nearly to the blast zone, and just giving him the last helping hand to go the rest of the way in.
The rotary arms does literally.
Yeah, like we were saying, at this mid range, just play patient.
Hand to go the rest of the way in.
There's landing nair to shield, landing nair into a grounded move, and he goes for the nair. So that was good.
It can pay for your future.
But I wouldn't have jumped there. Instead,
the rotary arms does literally
like at this range, you don't want
to
jump if Rob has the laser. I think he was just trying to cover the nair or some aerial approach here. Like it was good, but you don't want to like jump afterwards because of this laser. So now he's just trying to catch your air movement at this range.
Future,
So,
it can
yeah,
also.
I think Ling Ling's relying too much on air movement against Rob when you should be just playing more grounded at this
Definitely
point.
paying for Zamba's future,
Oh,
that's for sure.
That is definitely a $5.99 move in base game. But here we go,
Zamba's future, that's for
Another
sure.
thing I'm not
That
really
is definitely
seeing
a $5.99 move
is even if he goes in the
base game.
air, he's always trying to down air, and he's not trying to use nair as an anti-air, like rising nair. So yeah, Ling Ling's getting a lot of unnecessary damage for just being in the air, and you need to use walking.
Here we go.
And don't be afraid to
that's
just
for
play
sure.
it patient
That is
here.
definitely a $5.99
At
move.
this range, like even in the corner, Rob wants to pressure you with aerials, and being in his airspace
game.
means he can just like anti-air you here. So it's really rough.
Here we go,
But
Zamba
another thing you
doing
can
what he
use,
does.
similar
That
to
is
nair,
definitely a
is back air.
$5.99
Back
move in
air
base game.
kind of functions the same, but it's a little bit bigger, and it can also clank with gyro. So and it's a little bit faster than fair. So it's a good way to hit him at that diagonal angle when you're a little bit farther here. So instead of dare pressure, I want him to start mixing up with like back airs. It's really good. You can use stuff like rising back air.
For
Did he
Zamba's
shield me?
future, that's
for sure.
Yeah,
That is
sure.
definitely a $5.99 move in base game.
Oh yeah.
But
And then after down tilt,
here
he
we go,
jumps again.
Zamba doing what he does best, approaching with nair, looking really good right now. Gonna charge the gyro and throw it away. Tries to punish Ling with the fair.
All right, so versus
right
down
now.
tilt
Gonna
pressure
charge the gyro and
as
throw it away.
Rob. At this point, if he down tilts, just try to roll away or roll in, or you can try to jump. So maybe sometimes you can jab to get out of it, but it's pretty rough. But normally I like to roll. It can be obvious, but at this percent he won't kill me for it. But yeah, you have to mix up when you roll, because Rob will try to chase you after down tilting you and see what panic option you
To
go
punish
for.
Ling with the fair, goes for the laser, but good on Ling to reload.
Yeah, here it is
throw
again.
away.
I think he's
Tries
trying to
punish Ling with the fair,
convert
goes for the
off of this
laser,
instead of
but
going for these free opportunities. Like instead of going for the fair here, which is too
Ling to-
slow, he should have just taken that time to like go back to ledge. and get out of that situation.
Realize what Zomba's trying to come up with him.
But yeah, again,
laser,
where he's kind of relying a little bit too much on this air movement. And even if you do, what you can do out of this, because you're baiting him with the float and trying to avoid stuff, is you can do something like a rising back air or nair. So it's a good way to like cover yourself in the air with when you're using air movement, or you can just use walking. But yeah, he's not doing a lot of float into rising back air to try to anti-air Rob for trying to float. See, he's kind of getting caught in his airspace a little bit too much. And see, now you lost your float, and Rob can just hit you. So that's why I'm saying float is so important, because it helps so much in disadvantage against Rob to avoid his stuff.
Should be death for certain. Yep, Ling had no more options. Needed to make use of that early up B so he would even have a chance at drifting back to stage. But Zomba is not one.
And see, there's the nair again. It was really smart to go for that.
Feel that? That's your body, baby. It's telling you.
Dang, there's a lot of ads today. Maybe it's just VG Bootcamp. I guess they like to put a lot of ads on their videos. Or maybe because this was recent.
Let those go away. But
yeah, I like what he's doing here. He goes for the nair, but then he tries... Okay, hold on.
So he would even have a chance.
Yeah, that was good. Covers himself in the air, goes for the nair.
Zomba is not one to let those go away. That raw bear.
Alright, one thing to mention is back air. Back air is really good in this matchup because it outranges his down tilt. So what he could have done here is gone for one more back air to try to cover the down tilt pressure. And when back airing on the ground, you can also clank with gyro. So back air is kind of a decent way to close space, kind of what we were talking about a little bit earlier. So you can use back air to either wall out the down tilt on the ground or to try to clank with gyro. You can even use JCFF back air for the same way, but you have to space it on his shield. But yeah, you can use it similar to nair, but it has more range, and it's a good answer to stuff like run up down tilt from Rob. But yeah, that's mainly how you want to use it. You can use it with ground movement as well. So that's how you want to use back air in this matchup. You can even anti-air like his fair there. Yeah, you play patient here at this mid-range. You don't want to throw the turnip yet. You want to use it for when you think Rob's going to approach you with the nair, or just like as an out of shield, or just stuff out the laser.
Yep. All right, here we
go.
go.
There it is again. He's trying to rely too much on air movement, and he needs to play more grounded now.
So Zomba just going to set up a little bit.
Nice. I like this, though.
Right, here we go. Though Zomba.
Where he wasn't in the air, in the same place in the air too long. Because there were times where he was in the air too long, and then he got hit. And double jump mix-ups, like double jump JCFF and triangle movement, is really good for if Rob wants to anti-air you with a short hop aerial. And then he used the air movement to read the roll, which is nice. But yeah, he's throwing some of these items too early, and I want to keep it for pressure. Or as an out of shield option versus Rob.
But here comes the dash attack into the first fair. But speaking of
fair's another interesting option to talk about. Fair's pretty good versus Rob. Because one, it outranges his fair. It's slow, but it's a good anti-air, and it pokes at that angle, which is really good. So it can be decent in some spots, especially after he shoots gyro, as long as you space it on shield. But it's a good option versus Rob because it can also cross up. It's easier to cross up with fair compared to something like the nair, the back air.
Fair. But yeah. Speaking of fair, Ling going to be able to find a fair of their own, and once again, just brutal onslaught between both players. I do like how Ling is always trying to
I like he's playing patient here.
As soon as it gets kind of risky, because you just can't.
But yeah,
how Ling
here
is always trying to at least separate
he goes for this. He goes for this. Then afterwards, instead of the spot dodge, go for the downer, because a lot of the times we're seeing Zomba just nairs, lands with some sort of grounded move, and you can just jump down there after he nairs and start going for pressure. So I definitely would have gone for that instead, rather than trying to like spot dodge a grab.
It's kind of risky because you can't kind of go into that scramble with Rob.
We really haven't seen too many of the big damage combos
coming through. Okay. That was interesting. I like the mix-up.
We really haven't seen too many
where he uses, I think he used that as an opportunity to punish gyro, but he ended up crossing up instead and then going for the spot dodge. So I like that because he was always kind of in that area, and then Zomba would try to chase him or catch his landing. So it was a decent mix-up with auto cancels. Yeah, here's a good opportunity to use fair.
Mostly straight hits, and we really haven't seen too many of the big damage combos coming through
Is
from
you do
Ling, though.
this,
It's been mostly straight
and then he's in the
hits and
corner, try to cover center stage first, uses back air to poke at that angle, and you can even use fair against his nair to go for trades. He covers all of the space here, and he even jumps over that gyro there. So I hope you're starting to see that double jump cancel fair is super, and just fair in general is good for ledge trapping. Even rising fair can be really good against Rob, just to disrupt the jumps, or just to try to cover the roll there. But I think you'd have to be a little bit closer, because whenever you're really close to Zomba and he's shielding, then he rolls.
Yeah, it's very, very true. I feel like straight hits from Rob also...
yeah, like I said, back air's pretty good.
I feel like...
I like the movement there.
Straight hits from Rob.
To just cover this ground space, because I think he was going to try to run up down tilt to pressure. What did he use before?
Yeah, it's very, very true.
He used an air?
Like,
he used an aerial. Yeah, if he uses an aerial, then he's probably going to come in with a ground move, so that was really smart by Ling to do that.
Equate to a little bit more damage as well. So,
but yeah, here, what you can do here is, I like Ling staying grounded and trying to go for the parries. What you can do here, I think he wanted to use a rising nair. You can use rising nair to catch Rob's landings, or you can use something like up tilt or an up smash. Because remember, when Peach up smashes, she shifts her box a little bit downwards to where you can just like duck under the nair and then punish someone. And it's also invincible on her hand, so it's pretty good. Even if you trade, I think you get the kill here.
More damage as well. So Nair and Zomba looking for the back air. They're not going to be able to find it. Gets the first gyro. Going to throw it away that time. I like how he angled up the laser, trying to predict where Ling was going to go.
And
but once again,
this is
Ling
what we were talking about. He's playing this. I think he played this part really well.
Be able to find it. Gets the first gyro.
Like,
throw it away
okay, jump in case he tries to like shoot a gyro after laser, which is pretty common. Or shoot a laser and then gyro. So he goes for the nair, see like low committal poke, then you can shield. Shields a little bit longer in case he tries to pressure with an aerial and go for the parry. Takes a little bit of space and tries to anti-air with the fair. So I think that was good. And see, it pokes at that angle, and then he tries to like cover a jump towards him with the rising back air. And the nice thing about rising aerials is then you can retreat to the platform here, so he can't catch your landing as easily. So this was really smart.
But once again, Ling just
very multi-layered decision right there.
He's gonna throw the gyro back, pull a turn up. Now we're gonna see a little bit.
Yeah, again, he's in the air too much. So I like he threw the gyro there to kind of like get him off of him. But yeah, I think he's throwing this turnip too high when instead of this range, since he's gonna try to laser anyways, since you've been using air movement, just approach on the ground a little bit more with walking.
Turn up. Now we're going to see a little bit of projectile play.
But yeah, just maintaining that space there.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Oh,
you think you can ignore
this is ad hell.
I'm going to try.
At least are really short.
Tastes like it, but it's beyond.
Looking for the landing nair,
and there it
is.
Now
where he's not holding forward with his movement. He's using it to kind of just jump over the gyro and then try to bait the roll from Zomba. And when you're in this spot, and yeah, there was a roll anyways. When you're in this spot between gyro and Rob, back air is really good. Because Rob often, when you're in between, sandwiched between the gyro and him, he'll try to down tilt. And like we said earlier, ground float back air just outranges his down tilt. So it's really good. And or you can use a JCFF aerial and just like poke at that angle and avoid the down tilt pressure anyways.
Nair, but not able to find it yet.
And that was a good mix up. It was like the triangle movement. And see, Ling's using a lot. I think he's doing a little bit better with his air movement. He's using it too much, but this is how you want to use it, is you do a triangle jump to just avoid the laser. Because if you use double jump JCFF as a mix up, you can avoid the laser at that height that he was just at. Even the upward angle laser, if you do a full hop or double jump cancel fast fall, you avoid it while also poking at this angle to anti-air him.
Also tries
so it was really good.
Still alive after eating that.
But like we said, be aware of the projectile off stage.
Also tries for the
be ready for that first and foremost. Sometimes you don't even have to pull turn up. You can just chase Rob, and you get a turn up with the gyro anyways, to where you like don't have to do it.
Live after eating that fair, thanks to being across the stage.
Nice. He's getting these rolls really well. He's reading his out of shield options. So we have a last stock situation
on our hand, but the percents tell a different story. 113 on Ling, but a dot eyes in hand actually.
Yeah.
Now he's going for the down air pressure.
Actually, it wasn't a dot.
Oh, it
Yeah,
wasn't a
it's-
dodge.
Oh no, he did really well
Hand,
here.
actually.
So he goes for the down air pressure after he
Yeah, looking
lands.
really close. Actually, it
Gets in
wasn't
there.
a dodge.
What I would have done here, so nice back air, is nair, run back nair. Run back nair covers the roll, and like we said with JCFF nair, it's pretty non-committal, and it's more important to cover the roll versus Rob than anything. Especially with the turnip in hand, to where theoretically, if we hit him with like a combo starter in the corner, we can just like turn up and then do the crazy turnip combos against Rob. So I disagree with going all the way over here. I would have just went back. I would have back aired to bait the roll, and then went back and nair to cover this roll,
Oh, it
Yeah,
wasn't a
it's-
dodge.
rather than giving up all of that
It's
pressure.
looking really close. You
I
probably
thought it
saw
And
was
the
then
mouth.
now
I
you're
saw-
in this
I saw
spot
it, like,
where that happened.
shaking it.
So
I'm-
really
Raising
good
hand,
string
actually.
from Ling Ling
Yeah, looking really close. Actually, it wasn't a dodge.
to go for pressure here. But like we said, when you're pressuring Rob or playing against any Rob player, be adamant about covering this roll. It's more important
Oh, it
Yeah,
wasn't a
it's-
dodge.
than doing that. And then now you're in the air. It was kind of the same problem where you threw the turnip too high.
looking
And when you're at high percent against Rob, you don't want to be in the air because then
Really
he can just
close.
hit you
I
with up tilt or some sort of up smash out of shield and
I
just
saw
kill
the
you.
mouth,
I
yeah.
saw it like
Yeah.
shaking in Peach's hand, but Ling Ling
Play
might be
grounded
shaking
there.
his head.
I think the
after
biggest
that
thing
one.
Shaking his
was
finger, the
Rob.
jackal twirly,
I mean,
as I like
Ling
to
Ling
call it,
played
oh,
too.
that's-
He was
that
a
is
little
not
too
the jackal
happy
twirl.
in
That
the
is the
air. He
every
used a little
Smash
bit too
player
much
twirl.
air
I have only
movement,
seen that
and I
started.
think he should have
I saw
held
that
some of the
first on
items a little bit
Jackal. It's
longer.
the Jackal twirly.
I've seen
But
every
otherwise,
player
I think
in
he did a
Georgia do that.
decent job of
Really?
mixing up his air movement there. But let's see the next stage.
Like you called out a little
So
bit.
we're back on PS2. This is fine, and he's going birthday cake, lavender peach. Because whenever I see this color, I think of like a cake frosting, so like cake frosting peach. But yeah, anyways, we're back on this
earlier.
stage.
We weren't seeing the
Just get right
turnip nair
into it.
combos that we
But
usually
yeah, it was better he didn't pull turnip there, but see, he would have thrown the gyro.
Really
I
do
mean, the laser, anyways.
out of Peach / Daisy players.
Like we
Now,
said,
you know, the Peach coming out to play, but once again,
he's going for the
now
down
we
air.
start
Nice.
off with taking Zombo right off the side.
But yeah, there. So when ledge
Play,
trapping Rob,
but once
one thing
again,
I really
now
like to
gonna
go
start
for
off with
is
taking
I like to shield
Zombo-
here, and then I like to jump nair at the ledge just to anti-air him. I wouldn't go for this down air. Rising nair is just fine at anti-airing because I think Rob's nair is frame 15 and Peach's nair is like frame 5. But the point is, Peach's nair is like way faster than Rob's. So if you jump in the air at the same time and you nair Rob, then you'll end up winning. So I think that would have been. It's just something I like to do a lot against Robs in the corner. Is I like to, especially
off-
jumping out of shield. I just like to jump near there
The side.
to catch them.
Going to be trying to catch the landing by
Okay.
Ling.
I like how he
Zombo
retreated
right off the
here
side.
rather than just like jumping through the
Going to
platform
be
here.
trying to catch
I definitely like this
the
idea.
landing
Just
by
get out of
Ling
there.
here with
And at this range, you want to play patient.
gyro, but Ling
Don't try to
very
force your
good
way
to get
in.
down and get the shield
Just
out
walk.
to remove the gyro from the field
Nice.
at least temporarily. Good on Zombo.
Very
good to
yeah,
get
just
down
play
and get
patient here. It's okay to start shielding and parrying a lot of Rob
the
stuff.
shield
Because one
to
common
catch
thing,
the landing by
one like
Ling.
elementary thing I forgot to mention is
Here
gyro into laser. It's super common because every Rob has some sort of projectile pattern. You want to see what they do after shooting gyro, and it's either laser or an approach with nair or something like that. So you just want to wait out both projectiles when Rob shoots at the gyro. Wait out the laser afterwards, or wait for him to do an aerial.
The gyro, but Ling very good.
Good for Ling to stay grounded there. So he parries there, and then see after that we just went over both projectile patterns at once. It's either laser or approach with nair. So it's one of those two.
Get the shield out to remove the
And see, he catches the runoff of the platform with that.
Gyro.
He down tilts. I really like the
The
pressure
field.
here. What I would have done here is I like to back away, but I would have covered with fair because Zombo probably would have rolled there and it would have also tried to anti-air this air.
temporary
So
with the gyro. but
good
Ling
on his
very
part
good to get down and get
to
the
not
shield out to
overextend
remove
here.
the gyro
He down tilted,
from the
and then I would have fell back with the double jump cancel fair. Just to cover the roll out of shield there.
field.
But Zombo also likes to jump. So
Temporarily. Good on Zombo to hold out there though, so he
see, and there's the fair. It's really good.
doesn't get caught by the down tilt off of the turnip.
Yep,
Uh-oh.
for sure. Here we go.
Zombo to hold out there though, so he doesn't get caught by the down tilt off of
I like that. Condition him to shield, and now we bait the roll. Oh my god. Instead of just pulling the turnip here.
Yep, for sure. Here we go, though. Ling is
Nice.
trying to...
I like what he did there.
get caught by the down tilt.
We're starting to
off of the
really
turnip.
get it.
Yep, for sure. Here
Where
we
we
go.
do this, pressure him at that angle once he
Oh.
lands, and cross him up. That was really
So
smart.
Ling just trying
And then he jumps out of shield. So Zomba's main way of getting out of Peach's pressure is jumper roll. So it's some defensive option. And the way you can deal with that with Peach is to honestly just press more buttons or try to read what he does after.
Build down
but yeah, just play patient here. Don't be in the air.
Sure, here we go, though.
Don't be in the air.
Build down.
But yeah, this is the main problem. I think Ling Ling's in the air just a little too
Some
much.
of that shield here, but Zomba going to be able to find the double fair up top. Now, once again, Ling stuck here on the ledge. Oh my god, I feel like Zomba was going for the grab here, but
play patient.
Pulling stuck here on the ledge. Oh my god.
Yeah, you can't force your way in just because of this nair.
I feel like Zomba
it would have been okay to like walk here, and this is also a decent spot to like place the jump anyways.
Grab there, but ended up.
But yeah, I don't agree with him fading in the air there. I think that's his main problem.
But good on the come down from Ling here.
Nice. I like what he did there. So it was like what we were saying earlier about the turn up. You throw it up here to kind of make it to either force Rob to catch it with the nair, to catch the landing with like shield, just not chasing him with up airs. You can do it as a mix up after you've conditioned him with like shielding on the ground and up tilting. But I like that Ling Ling's not overextending while juggling and trying to challenge him with up airs because his nair can beat it.
Here, just trying to find a way down
really
throw
precise.
into the back air. Looking good so far.
Fair comes through and Zomba.
Okay, so here's another thing.
Throw into the back air. Looking good.
You want to wait and shield a little bit longer here because Rob has a jump that he has to work with off stage, and he can surprise you by jumping back to stage. If you're farther, you can sometimes chase Rob with a ground float fair to catch him jumping back to stage. Because what Rob will do is he'll try to like stall down there with up B and then come back to stage and hit you. Just happens. But yeah, that's kind of how you want to deal with it, is hold shield a little longer because sometimes you can get a parry down tilt fair here.
Fair comes through and Zomba actually does catch Ling trying to escape with that jump.
Yeah, there's a double jump float again. I'm not really agreeing with this because see, then Rob can hit you again. It's really tough.
Zomba's immediately there, immediately trying to cover good.
Yeah, he's using double jump float a lot. And see, in situations like this, you can just get hit again and you've lost both of those resources. And you really need float, as we've seen, to get out of disadvantage against Rob.
Jump by Ling though to avoid the first air.
Oh
doesn't
man.
avoid the second up air, and now he's once again
nice side B. Because why we're
here's
here's kind of a visual is when you're out here, it's better to just like side B to save your air dodge when you're this far in the blast zone as Peach and they're like really far away.
Up air, and now he's once again off stage against an aggressive Zomba. How do you?
And that's why you also want to save float because Rob's down air is pretty big. Is when you're in these spots here, where Rob wants to try to two-frame you with down air, you can float a little bit to stall as a timing mix-up, and then you can up B. So reason number like 3 where you want to save your float and disadvantage is very helpful.
How do you make it back? No, you make it back by Zomba missing the 2
And there it is again. I like
very,
this.
Very true. But
how do you make it back? No,
he plays patient there, and then he tries to anti-air with an air. So this is why GCFF nair is like really good tool against Rob, because it just stuffed out an aerial that he was trying to pressure Ling Ling with in the corner. Very smart. And then he catches the landing with nair.
But of course,
personally here, I like what he was doing. He chases him, but this is where you go for back air, just in case Rob tries to defend himself with a down tilt. It's kind of the same way Peach players, when they land, they try to defend themselves with down tilt. But remember, Peach's ground flow back air will outrange this move. So I think it's a lot better in these spots to just chase with a well-spaced ground flow back air.
True, but of course, one thing that I see Zomba do,
nice, catching that out of shield.
A lot more Robs don't.
And that's why fair is really good, because it will just catch the startup on his nair. So very, very smart play.
A lot with that down tilt. I feel like when I was watching,
so we're gonna hold this turn up here.
Down tilt come out as much. Down throw though.
Oh, okay, the footstool. Nice. Yeah, just play patient here and shield.
I don't know if that was
walk a little bit, and then. Oh, okay, that was good. I like what he did here. But I'm liking how he's playing this mid-range. Not too airborne, using a lot of shielding and ground flow movement to like cancel into shield. To slowly close the gap. And then spacing around the nair is what you want to do. But here, I think he was trying to like down air, but he kind of missed. But whatever, that's fine.
Hitting the jump button. He was I want out of here. I don't know if that was intentional. I think that was just Ling Ling
jump out of shield? Yeah. He jumps out of shield. So I would have tried to read the jump there or cover the roll. That's where JCFF Nair would have probably been okay.
Jump button. He was I want out of here.
Yeah, mashing for their own life here because, especially versus Zombie,
back air. You just have to be aware of these back airs because Zomba is actually kind of an aggressive Rob when it comes to the corner. He just wants to stop you with his back air all times. So
144 on P.
The best thing you can do there is just like walk.
KO at this point, but now you're stuck on the ledge.
Or you rolling out of shield's not too bad
that
either.
Nair is coming for you.
And like we said again, having that float is so good for situations like this where you just need to float to avoid something like an up tilt here to get around it. And then you can land with a Nair.
166% too. That just means rage, and Ling is going to make full use of it if he can. 6% too. That just
versus Zomba,
so he throws that
Nair is coming for you.
Tries to cover the landing, down tilt snares. What you can do here is when tech chasing on a platform is Peach, one thing you can do is double jump float right here. Float just above the get up attack, and you can react to all options. Where you jump float on the platform here, above the platform, above get up attack, and then you can do something like a back air to cover roll. You can empty land down tilt if they get up attack, or you can nair to cover roll in or regular get up or something like that. I like the nair, but it was kind of overextending when I think it would have been better to either stay on the ground or just float and nair here to try to react to all float and just react to all options rather than stay on this platform here and it's like, oh no, and then you get grabbed and then it's just really bad from there because you die.
But you're only one up throw away.
Yeah, just something to think about when you're trying to cover options on the platform.
Zomba's going to find that eventually.
But yeah, definitely a good option to use this Peach.
There was a dot.
You're only one.
Yeah, here we go again. Back to the neutral. We're gonna hold turn up. He throws on the ground, which is kind of odd.
There was a dot.
I would have tried to JCFF Nair there.
There was a dot up throw away from death, and Zomba's going to find that eventually.
Or just try to down air. Either one works. I just don't want to be on the ground against Gyro.
There was a dot.
Yeah, there's the jump out of shield again.
There was a dot.
And that was really good. Where patience kind of pays off here with this mid range, and then you double jump float. I think it would have also avoided the angled one. And then you poke Rob at that angle.
I was trying to make sure I was right before saying it again because last
Lincoln's also doing a good job at reading when he drops shield. Like, notice these back airs. He's catching Zomba jumping or dropping shield at a very specific time. So it's really good on him to do that. And again, Rob is big to where he just kind of gets hit by that versus Peach's button.
I was right before saying it again because last time I was wrong.
That's okay.
Nice.
Go down tilt, going up for the nair instead of the fair here, but I think Zomba was kind of expecting the fair. So
throw it up. I would have caught that again and then thrown it up
for
again.
The mix up here,
personally.
Going high, trying to read something, but once again, playing it a little bit more passively than we see a lot of other Peaches.
Oh no! I liked what he should have just stuck what he was doing there, which was he floated and then he just covered the roll. But I guess it makes sense because Zomba does like to jump, but I like to just cover roll a little bit more against Rob and then probably save it for the kill.
For the back air there, but not able to find
I like it.
On Zomba to find his way back.
But he was in the air too long. Instead of going for double jump here, one mix-up I'm not seeing a lot is he's not doing float into air dodge as Peach. He's kind of just double jumping, and then he kind of just gets hit by this nair, and you can kind of just float plus air dodge back to the ground. Not directional, just neutral air dodge to avoid the snare.
Find his way back onto the stage, and you and I both know Zomba is a cheeser.
But yeah, there it is again. So we see projectile into aerial into running forward. So
the cheeser. Ling is only one hit away. Yeah, self-proclaimed cheeser. I'm not insulting him
play
here.
Patient here.
Even then. All right. Well,
then he uses fair to defend space there.
Something though, a little bit of the exchange of
and there it is again. I like.
Just trying to find something though, a little bit of the
Zomba whenever he's at again where he lands with either an aerial or shooting gyro. So then you can just jump over it and hit him with the fair. So I like that.
The shields. But
so it's kind of what it. So this is kind of the neutral. You're just playing grounded and patient at this mid range.
Even then. All right.
And then
just trying to find something though, a little bit of
and then you mix up with being in the air.
Exchange of the shields. Yeah, the shields. But
and then you gotta wait out the projectile on stage.
Fair. Zomba gonna opt to go a little bit higher, stall up in the air, but now Ling.
Let me check something real quick.
Find the thing though, a little bit of the exchange of the shields.
Here, Personally,
Yeah, the shields.
I probably would have tried to chase the high recovery, but the turnip isn't bad either.
But Ling gonna be
Because
able
then
to
here,
find
you can just like toss it up to force Rob to go low and then try to
the
get him.
fair. Zomba gonna opt to go a little bit higher, stall up in the air, but now Ling, we're gonna see them go up with the up air at least once, but now Zomba has feet on ground, gonna be able to find.
He should
See them
have
go up
gone
with the
what
up
he was
air at
doing
least
before,
once, but
which
now
was
Zomba
he doesn't try to air dodge here, he tries to drift back.
has feet
which
on
was
ground,
better.
gonna be able to find two
Then you get hit by
up
the
tilts into the up air.
tilt
Not
up
gonna
air.
be a KO just quite yet.
Look at the percents in just a couple of moves. Zomba went from being nearly 150% behind.
And yep, that's what you want to do. That's much
being
better.
about 70% behind. Ling trying to get that high turn of
And
50%
there we go
behind.
again.
Being about 70% behind. Ling trying to get that
Yeah.
high turnip throw to knock him off the top.
Not too much to say about the neutral. But yeah, he's doing a really good
Still,
job
Ling trying to
at
get that high
playing this mid-range. I think he's still relying on air movement a little bit too much, but at least he's defending himself in the air with his back
turnip
air.
throw to knock him off the top.
And then he tries to nair to defend center stage, and then he jumps over it and reacts to gyro with that float movement we were talking about.
Still holding strong on the stage until the
Notice
throw
just
to
like
knock him off
where
the
he
top.
places it. It's definitely better to float after they shoot the laser there, because then you don't have to worry about it, and then you can float all the way over here and then react to when he shoots gyro to use it. So definitely wait out the laser. You want to play more grounded, especially when he has laser, and then wait it out. And then you want to use more like reactionary float movement at this range, so either bait an overextension or just to jump over the gyro and poke at him in his blind spot.
Still holding strong on the stage until the fair
But yeah,
comes
definitely catch
through
that
and takes
gyro
him
there.
down.
Yeah, for sure. Here
Instead
we
of
go.
pulling
Those
turn
Zomba
up.
trying to read with the back air, not gonna be able to find
Nice.
it. Good on Ling to just
I don't agree with throwing it down. Instead, I would have tried to keep it for ledge trapping.
for sure. Here we go. Those Zomba
Because
trying to
how you
read
have
with
to
the back
think
air,
of
not
it
gonna be able to
is
find it. Good on Ling.
that's a ledge option for
just-
Rob. So throwing it away this early is bad, and it's also an option you can use for your ledge trapping. So it's kind of like taking this
Float right
opportunity
For sure. Here we go.
Right
Those Zomba
here.
trying to read with the back air, not gonna be able to find it. Good on Ling.
to just go back to center stage. But yeah, Ling kind of gets a little too greedy where he just kind of wants to hit him or convert, and it's kind of costing him a little bit.
Just float right away from those
Bomb.
rotary
Here we get the
arms.
bomb.
Look out.
Bomb
Catches the
alert.
landing
Well,
with
here
Nair.
we go.
Nair's decent to catch
right away
landings
from
as
those
well,
rotary
too.
arms.
It's kind of what we were saying about normally he would shield after he lands or use the grounded move, so it's pretty good.
Bomb alert. Well, here we go. Just
And then he chases him
Security
there
to
with
hear
the
me. I'll
down
be a
air.
little bit quieter.
Nice. I like what he did there.
bomb alert. Well, here we go.
I
Just
don't
It
want
was like,
security to
okay,
hear
I'm going to stay
I'll
grounded.
be a little bit
Then I'm going to catch you running in with this Nair if you're going to down tilt.
quieter.
Really smart.
Anyway, Zomba gonna be able to find the up tilt up air. Good DI once again coming out from Ling.
Yeah, and that's where float's really
And now
good,
once again,
because then you can avoid stuff like that
But
when
just
you're
trying
landing.
to read where Ling is gonna go.
But yeah, you got to be careful
Oh,
the back
but
there.
the Zombear.
Zombear comes through. Ling loses that stock. I should stop calling him Ling. He changed
Interesting
his
he
tag.
didn't
He
pull
did.
turnip
Zombear
here,
comes through. Ling loses that
because it would have definitely been great. Because if Rob has a gyro, he wants a Z drop near you to start the
Stock.
combo. But yeah, you want to pull turnip after the angel platform. It's just more
Stock.
important. Yeah, there's the back air like we were talking about to anti-air, and it's a good
Calling
poke.
him
Because see, afterwards you can just shield, and then sometimes you just get a parry down tilt if you're
Ling.
on
He
play.
changed
Nice
his
rising
tag.
fair.
He did. But that's okay.
It's hard to
And you're
break.
patient here.
Have it.
Yep.
Very passive and
Especially
neutral.
when someone
I
like
what
Ling,
he's
who's been
doing.
around in multiple Smash games for a long, long
Not
time,
really
but of course,
been
forcing his way
Yes.
in, and then yeah, you can throw the turnip there. I think it's still a little too far, but it's okay.
For sure,
It
but
worked there.
definitely
Bait the
a
roll.
breakout.
Oh, he had the
long
right
time,
idea
but of
though.
course-
I like what he
Yes,
did.
for
He
sure.
did
but
this,
definitely
runs back to get roll,
a
and then he tried to double jump, cancel, fast fall back air. Good idea. It was just like you land on the platform. Unfortunate.
breakout for Ling's career at this point. Once again,
Did he shield there?
definitely a breakout for
He does that,
Ling's
and then he shields and rolls. But yeah, definitely Ling needs to be a little bit better at covering these
career
rolls.
at this
but
point.
it's
Once
okay.
again, so gonna be
Like this is
able
kind of
to
what we were
find
saying
out
about
for Ling's career at this
earlier,
point. Once again,
about using the turnip to kind of just like stuff him out for the ledge trap, and then he lands with the nair. So this is really good from him. It's kind of adding two really strong options in this matchup into one, just to escape the ledge.
so gonna be
And then he tries to read him jumping out of the pressure, which Zomba's
able to
doing a
find
lot.
the
So
nair
very
and
smart
find the
stuff
back
by
air. So this
Ling.
gives Zomba a free punish.
And then he lands with the nair, very safe on
Landing near
shield.
there as well. Gets the double up tilt up air. That's so much.
Gives
me
Zomba
go
a free
back.
punish.
Instead here, again, you could have. I think he could have jumped down air, but he up tilts anyways because he's trying to catch it. But it would have been okay to retreat.
Near there as well, gets the double up
But I
tilt
think
up
that was
there.
just a
That's
really
so
good
much
read
damage.
by Zomba. To try to go for the up tilt there. Because it makes sense, right? Like, if Zomba up tilts, then that catches the downer. So, good read by him. And that's where the downer becomes really good, because you can condition that option and then you get like a down tilt, basically. And we all know how good down tilt is versus heavies.
There as well, gets
Kind of optimizing how you can get down tilts in this matchup.
Does catch the turn up,
But I want to see more of this from him, where he kind of doesn't waste any resources and then kind of waits out the projectiles, because sometimes you can just air dodge and catch the gyro like this and then land, rather than double jump floating out of pressure situations.
The gyro throws it away immediately in favor of plucking turnip.
But see, with his movement, he doesn't get too close. He's doing a really good job just spacing around these anti-airs while also covering roll. So it's like covering three options at once, because this will also avoid gyro. So it's not only spacing around the nair, but it's also covering roll and avoiding the gyro. So when using float, for Peach players that kind of don't know how to use it too well and want to look at it a little bit deeper, when you use float, you can be very layered with it. Like here, he's using his air movement to 1, space around the nair, 2, to cover the roll, and 3, to cover the grounded projectile option from ROB. So this is really like high level way to use float, is you want to place float in places where it can avoid and cover multiple options as Peach. You want to be very precise with your floats. You can't just like put it out there wherever you want, because you can get it anti-aired and you might not get that much off of it.
In favor of plucking turnip.
Yep.
Retreats with back air to pluck.
Yeah, you can use turnip. You can just pull turnip sometimes. You just have to be aware of the gyro. The laser when you're pulling them.
Pluck turnip yet again, but Zomba's okay to take.
And see the anti-air.
Projectile battle does lose there as Ling decides to come in. This is his game to win.
But yeah, this is like we were saying, don't overextend. It was good to throw it up here. Just get back to the ground first. So then it's okay to go up there with movement to bait the nair, because sometimes you can land to the ground first and up smash and get a kill.
To win, Zomba's to lose, but we've seen what happens when it's Zomba's
game.
Okay,
nice off the platform. That was really good.
To lose.
I actually like what he did
his
there.
Game to win, Zomba's
it was like,
to lose,
okay,
we've seen what
you try to hit me, you're going to land, right? So I'm going to try to catch your landing while poking you at that angle with a really safe pressure move. So that's really good. That's one way you can leave the platform as Peach in this matchup, is using back air.
Zomba's game to lose before.
So he does that, covers the roll.
Down back air from the platform.
And then he tries to anti-air and cover the roll with
coming
fair.
out from Ling, just trying to find
and another mix-up you can do with your air movement
drop down back air from the
is you can do this. You can float and just cross up. You don't even have to press a button, because, if someone sees you press a button on their shield, they're like, okay, I have to do something. But then, instead of just pressing the nair here, you could have just landed right behind him with the float here. Don't even press anything. Just float, go right behind him, and then you can do something like a ground float nair or something like that. Either one works, or you can try to bait the roll with movement, which is very fair, because either one of two things will happen with Zomba and shield. He's either going to jump or he's going to roll. And there he rolls. But it was roll away, which is better for you, because now he's in the corner.
Zomba out of the shield.
Nice jab mix-up.
Gonna use the jab at this point.
And then he catches that at his shield. That was very smart.
Ooh, and the great
that goes with the
jump.
habits we were going over this entire game, which is Zomba, when he's in a pressure situation, either jumps or rolls. So that was very good.
And the great read on the jump. Peach is strong in that fair.
I like how he played this last part of the game, where it was kind of like boxing with ROB. I'm kind of using float to cover options, avoid stuff, and to avoid the projectiles, anti-air, and cover the roll. Which is really good. But notice he's not in the air too long. Like, he kind of floats, and then he gets back to the ground immediately by either just landing or covering it with like a landing nair. So you don't want to linger in the air too long, because ROB can just hit you. But yeah, I like where he's placing these floats. It's covering a lot of options at once that aren't very obvious. Like here, for example, 3 nairs. That's a good jab mix-up, because he hasn't really been using it. He does this to avoid the gyro,
the jab.
And then he jumps back so he's not too close to Nair.
At this point.
And then he uses that kind of as a bait to cover the defensive option here. Very smart.
Ooh, and the great read on the jump. Peach is strong.
He definitely paid attention there to Zomba's patterns.
Better than we're gonna go for this, and we're just gonna, do the tri-state class.
Let's see, the next game is on Battlefield. Battlefield's okay.
So many stages
But personally, I don't know about this because I think Zomba's advantage state's pretty good, but it's not bad because it can help you catch the landings. But I think Zomba probably favored this to be under the platform to cover Lang's air movement with his full hops. So I think it's kind of smart from him to do that. Yeah, there it is again. Laser immediately. You just got to be ready for it.
I'm proud.
But yeah.
Coach last, by the way,
yeah, here's kind of projectile habits part 5 or 2 is off of the platform. A lot of projectile characters love to be reverse and then hit you with the projectile. There's a few ways to deal with this. You can,
by the way,
at this percent, I think it would have been better to just float here, because if you are floating and you do get hit by Nair, kind of what we saw earlier, Peach is so floaty that Rob can't get like his super big combos on you because you're already here and then you get hit higher to where he can't just like 0 to death you realistically. So I think here it would have been better to probably float for the ledge trap, to float in the corner to kind of avoid this option. And even if you get hit by an aerial, like his back air, because Rob likes to pressure you in the corner with aerials, you won't die for it. So I think floating there would have been great, because if you ever want to get back to the ground quickly, you can just jump wave land on this platform right here. So that's a decent way to get out of the ledge trap, while also avoiding this option while he's on the platform. Either one works. Because realistically, like, let's say you float here.
You did it!
Like right there, like right here on the platform, like right above here. He's not going to just like go over there and dash attack you. Like, that doesn't really make sense. Rob wants, most people when they're on a platform in Ultimate want to get off of it as fast as possible. So I think it would have been better to float here and just react.
Coach last, by the way,
so,
everybody.
Yeah.
Too busy
Good
to
shield.
coach
Good
everybody
flow.
at this point. Coach last, by the way, everybody.
Shield. He tries to jump out of this, and then there's kind of the habit we see. But what you can do here, I would have probably just air dodge, because you would have air dodged right to the platform while also catching the gyro.
Everybody at this point.
Pretty much.
All right, here we go though. Up tilt. Gonna be able to find the up air to go at this point.
Gotta be careful here.
Right.
This is probably a spot where you could have jumped, but I think you should have gone with the Nair here.
Coach everybody at this point.
Pretty much.
Where you just double jump and then JCFF Nair back to the ground. Would have been perfect. Or you can use this as Peach.
Coach everybody.
Where you're on the platform and then just like SH JCFF right through it, because Peach has the luxury of being able to play around platforms unlike most characters because of flow, being able to just like drop right through it. So that's something you can work on as Peach. Or just if you struggle with platform movement, is just being able to just drop right through it. Don't be afraid to do that. Peach has a luxury of being able to get around sticky platforms a little bit easier than most characters. Rather than being in the air and then it's like, oh, I have to land.
Gonna be able to find the up air to go with it. Already strong start coming out from Zomba. You can kind of see Ling really unsure on these platforms.
I thought he was going to try to cover the roll there. I was like, oh my gosh, he's so smart. But it's okay. Yeah, he needs to cover these rolls a little bit better.
Ling really unsure on these platforms as well. So now,
okay.
You can kind of see Ling really unsure on these platforms as well.
Yeah, I like how he's playing patient with shield. This would have been a free grab, but I think maybe he misinputted or something.
Now, once again,
I'm not sure. Maybe it was a flow cancel and he got a spot dodge.
Fantastic coming out from Zomba.
Ling, though, going to be able
to
frequently catch those pressure situations with the down.
So this is what I mean, where you can throw the turnip off of ledge to anti-air one of his aerial pressure, one of his aerials he's going to use to pressure you in the corner with.
Those almost every time.
I like the idea
those pressure situations with the down air
where you throw it here, but this is where you go for down air right here, because it will, or just float and try to react to all options here. So that's the best way you can do it there. Rather than overextending with this fair, you could just float right there and then react to all options. And then you can land on the platform and down tilt. And one thing you can do is you can land down tilt do like a weak hit nair here, and then they'll be on the platform. You down tilt again and you up B. So that's a way you can kill. Sounds really crazy, but I've definitely done it before. Where if people roll in here,
pressure situations with the down air landing,
where you can just, I like keep through the turnip for coverage. But yeah, you can just like float here, land, down tilt, weak hit nair, down tilt again, and then up B. Or you can like down throw here, get them on this platform, and then float, land, down tilt, up B. The point is get them here and then down tilt them and up B. So that's a way you can do it.
Almost every time Zomba though with the nair out of shield to push.
But there's the jump again. Okay, nice, smart
Finds the bear,
early up B.
Quite. That honestly might have been the stock too.
Yeah, Parasol coming in and.
But yeah, the air movement again here.
Saving Ling stock.
That honestly might have been the stock.
So there's gyro into nair.
Yeah, Parasol.
But
coming in and saving
one thing I
Ling
want
stock
to see
here,
him
but
do
once-
is just like
Might have been the stock too.
float
Yeah,
into air dodge
Parasol.
here, especially with laser, because you can just like air dodge here. Like neutral air dodge, reach the ground first, and you'll be fine.
coming in and saving
But notice how he's spacing around this nair while he's using his air movement. It's really important.
Ling stock here, but
Even like covering himself in the air
yeah, Parasol
with like
coming in
float and then back air and then drifting
saving Ling
away.
stock here, but
And then he runs in with the nair to try to take some space.
once again gonna
Very
be able
smart.
to find the nair.
And there's
Can't
a fair
find
for the ledge
turnip
trap.
toss, but once
Waiting
again,
the
these fair
projectile.
callouts have been
Throw it up.
fantastic coming out from Ling so far.
Oh, I don't agree with that.
Air callouts have been
was good,
fantastic.
where he
coming
did
out
this.
From
Okay, he had good spacing, so it was pretty good. So I
Ling
kind of
so
agree.
far.
And then he uses that
Zomba
and then tries to cast his
needs to
jump.
recognize
So
that
that's
every
good.
time he jumps off ledge, Ling is going to be ready with that.
Okay, so
Ling
here's
so far.
one very common habit.
But needs-
When people get hit by gyro and they get
to
kind of sent in this tumble situation,
recognize
most
that
people
every-
like to roll away. This is more important when you get ledge trapped by Rob and he messes up the ledge trap to where you're in that tumble situation. Most people like to roll to center stage, but most people just like to roll away from Rob immediately. And Robs are really good at catching this. It's kind of a very small habit that a lot of people fall into, where they don't play against Rob a lot.
Time he
In
jumps,
this situation, what
Fantastic
would have been
coming out
better
from Ling so far.
Zomba needs to recognize
is just go for get up attack. Honestly, like I just opt for get up attack because it's very unexpected here,
that
rather than the very obvious roll away. Because Robs are good at reading this because this is super common.
every time he jumps off ledge, Ling is going to be ready with that fair, so
Okay,
he needs to do
just
something more.
kind of wait there.
Nice.
But yeah,
Wow.
there it is again
Ling
where
is going to be
he
ready
just wastes his float too early.
with that fair, so he needs to do
But
something
yeah,
more along
it's
the
not
lines
too
of
bad.
Nice. Wow.
even if he still wants those
Lands on the
those
platform.
falling nairs to catch Ling.
No,
Lines of
Nice.
Side.
Wow.
Even if he still wants those.
See, now you're here. You can just use like walking and shielding, and then again, kind of what we saw in I think it was game 1, where you walk, shield, parry, and once you get a parry, that's a way to take space from Rob to get out of the corner.
Falling nairs to catch Ling, and nice trade on the Zombear. But even if off stage,
Interesting, he doesn't pull. You want to pull turnip there because Rob's just gonna outmaneuver you. So
those
use it just so you have a way to anti-air nair reliably when you're
nairs
using
to catch
movement.
Ling on his return to stage. He can do something like ledge.
I like how he's
jump
pressuring
Yeah.
him now
Once
up
those
close.
falling nairs to
Where
catch
let me go
Ling.
back.
And nice trade on the Zombear. But even if off stage, he
So
wants
he
those
up airs, and then
Ling
he.
on.
That was
Nice
really
trade on
smart,
the
actually.
Zombear. But
So
even
he
if
up
off
airs
stage,
here,
he wants
and up air doesn't have a lot of landing lag, so you're able to not touch the ground, and then he's able to mix up his
falling
landing
nair.
by doing a jump nair. You can do the same thing with full hop nair too, and even like full hop back air, where you don't touch the ground after the end lag of that move, to where you can just like jump again or float, and then kind of mix up from there.
To catch Ling on his return.
He back airs there,
Stage,
he nairs, which is
Do
safe,
something like
and then he tries to cover the jump out of shield. So I like how he's forming his pressure around the Rob's habits.
ledge
But
drop. Off
one thing to
stage,
keep
he
in
wants those
mind
falling nairs to
is
catch Ling on
one
his
thing
return
Robs like to
to
do
stage.
out of shield
He can do
is they like to drift forward with the nair.
like-
Very common, and one way you can respond to this is going for an up smash. Is you hit their shield,
But even if off stage, he wants those
and I really
falling
like it
nairs
at
to
this
catch Ling
percent
on his
too.
return to
Where
stage.
you hit the shield,
He can do
dash back, up smash, and this covers both the roll and the
Something
jump nair towards you. super good option to get kills versus Rob, especially if they like to panic in those situations.
Let's drop full hop.
Yeah.
And then get back onto stage that way. He doesn't
Yeah,
have
see,
to jump
just
every
spacing
time.
around Nair.
You know, roll's pretty good.
Yeah, true.
Very
Very
good.
true. All right, here we go, though. Zomba, 160.
And there it is again. Super, that fair ledge trap, so good. So good
Anything will
versus
take it. And
Stitch
really,
face.
these float fairs have been really just the killer of Zomba this entire
And there it is again, where turnip helps you get out of the ledge traps. If he was perfect, he could have gone for turnip churn.
82%. Oh my god. Killer
Then
of
I'm
Zomba
kind of
this
seeing an
entire
issue
game.
here where he wants to try to chase him with down air, but he's just going to jump at a disadvantage anyways. And it would have been better to go for the fair,
Oh my
the
god.
chase.
I saw the Stitch face and I felt fear.
I like how he's using
Very
Nair.
true. Especially in the hands of Ling as well. So.
Ling is face and I
Like,
felt
the way he's
fear.
using Nair is pretty smart.
Oh my god.
It's
I
like,
saw this-
okay, I'll just help to catch my landing if you want to like jump towards me with
Stitch
the Nair.
face and I felt fear.
Pulls turnip, jumps over the projectile, but doesn't push forward, goes right over here because I don't want to be sandwiched between this gyro and Rob. I'm just going to play patient at this mid-range.
Very true.
And he's spacing his floats
God.
in a
I
way
saw the Stitch face and I
where
felt
it's
fear.
not too close to that Nair range we're talking about.
Very true. Especially
But I disagreed throwing that turnip there entirely because you could have kept that to anti-air Rob.
in the hands
Because
of
in this
I
situation,
saw the
again,
Stitch face and I
good
felt
job. Well, the usual gyro to laser, super common from Rob. Just you have to wait out both projectiles, and then he approaches with like a nair after. So I would have kept that just to anti-air the nair
Very
from
true.
Rob.
Especially in the hands of Ling as well. So
Ling is a combo fiend. If you ever go
True.
look at his Twitter, you just see like
Oh.
dozens and dozens of
Okay.
the combo fiend. If you
Like
ever
the
go look
idea.
at his Twitter,
Does this? But instead, you want a full hop nair. You don't want a short hop nair versus Rob. Full hop is definitely the way to go instead.
you just see like dozens and dozens of white.
But he kind of did the ledge trap I was talking about earlier, where you shield, and then you kind of like full hop out of shield to catch Rob jumping over you.
Why did he die there?
yeah, very true.
Nice.
Though back
Just see like dozens and dozens of why did he
There's the gyro, and he landed, so he's probably going to shield.
die there?
But this is pretty
yeah,
good.
very true. Though back there is going to be the option though.
And
coming out.
another thing to
Dozens
mention
of why did he
is
die there?
versus heavies, it's super important to pummel. Because when you pummel these heavy characters, it adds free damage and unstills your moves for the kill. So I oftentimes like to go for grab punishes when they're at really high percent and pummel, just so I can unstill my moves to get the kills. Because if you don't, we'll probably see maybe later on or in the Mudace game where it makes a huge difference if you would have pummeled or gone for like certain grab punishes throughout the game. Because it might not seem like much, but it definitely matters to get kills if your moves are fresh and you have that extra tacked on damage.
Yeah,
So I like that he
very true.
pummels, and you want to pummel once for every 30%. That's how it works.
True though, back there is going to be the option though coming out from Ling, who is
Personally,
Why did he
here
die there?
yeah, very true though. Back there
is
is
I would have full hop nared to catch this gyro while also anti-airing him. But the shield is okay too, I
option
guess.
though coming out from Ling, who has completely turned the tides of
But yeah,
this match.
you definitely want to
Very
wait
true, though.
to
Back
use your
there is
up
gonna be the option,
airs.
though,
You
coming
don't
out
want to
from
chase
Ling, who
him,
is-
and then you can kind of get him there. You don't want to challenge
Completely
Nair
turned the
with
tides of this
up
match.
air.
Going to meet Zomba up with the up air. Finds the back air as well. Here comes the turn up. Not going to be able to connect. Just barely though last.
Okay,
Throwing that gyro downwards to cover Ling's
let me see.
Barely though last.
How's he leading
that
these
gyro down-
platforms? So, yeah, there it is again. Where in the corner he's going to shoot gyro.
downwards to cover Ling.
And then there's gyro to laser, the usual.
Aggression towards
Yeah, he's
Zomba
trying
in
to
the air,
catch his
looking for the
landings
Zombair yet
with the
again.
projectiles. Gotta wait there.
Ling's coordinate onto that he's caught on and he's not
Super
going
good.
looking for
I
the
like how he's
Zombair
pressuring
yet
him here.
again, but
There's the gyro. Cat tries to catch him, like we said earlier, jumping on with the ground flow fair.
coordinate on
And then he jumps over him and goes for the JCFF. It's
Onto
pretty
that,
smart. And then he goes at that blind spot again with the fair to catch the roll away or him jumping out of shield. Very good.
caught on and he's not
Very
going
good
to keep
awareness.
letting him get away. Zomba deep off stage, caught going high for the billionth time this set. Don't jump.
Nice. I like that.
But of course,
Because the
Going
Nair would
high,
have caught the jump
billionth
anyways.
time this set. Don't jump.
But yeah, pretty
but
good.
of course, once again, Ling
Get the
has
gyro.
she-
And once you have gyro, you kind of want to camp with it and just hold it. Because Rob's neutral becomes a lot more linear when you have his gyro in hand. Because all he's really restricted to is aerials and down tilt and laser.
Field has
You
been
don't have to play the gyro
fantastic.
mind
First
games
time that we're going
versus
to
him.
see Nair actually KO so far.
Good.
But good on
Playing
Link.
patient, and there it is again where he's big and that
To just
anti-air is
kind of go back. I guess we're going to exchange turnips for gyro and get a little bit of percent here, but good
there's
weight
air
on
dodge
Zamba.
again.
Great DI though on Ling. This is not going to be their stock, and honestly, I want to see Ling take this as far as possible.
If you're playing
You just
Smash
play a patient here.
Ultimate at this point, you have
Nice.
to know how to fight
Nice.
against
Through the turnip up.
Rob, and you have to know how to.
And now we're getting him there. Link's playing this super well. And like I said, when Rob is in the corner,
To introduce
just
our new
always
King
want to be at that
Charcoal
roll
with real
distance.
spices. We asked TikTok's angry reactions for his
Because, and kind of respect his ledge options a little bit. Because he can just nair off of
How to
ledge.
fight against
But yeah,
Rob, and you
catching, there it is again, catching the jump
to
back onto stage with
know
the
how to
turnip
DI that
instead of
out there
like
to fight
chasing it
against
there,
Rob.
getting him there.
Good on Ling. Good
Catch the roll. Oh, you want to
Awareness.
nair there.
And
Nair's
you
just better
have to
than
know how
going
to
for
DI
raw
that
grabs
out there
there.
to fight against Rob. It's good on Ling.
Yeah, definitely nair there
Good awareness,
instead of going
he's
for
going to
grab.
take
And then this is
again.
when you can do
How
double
to DI
jump
that out there to fight against
JCFF.
Rob. It's good on
Like
Ling.
you can
Good
double jump
awareness, he's going
JCFF
to-
right here and then go for a falling back air. So that's how you want to use your double jump movement, is if you think the Rob's going to angle it upwards, if you think he's going to anti-air you with like a short hop. So that's how you want to use your double jump cancel fast fall movement against
Take
Rob.
this again, like you said, for all that it's worth.
Go
98%
stay
built
patient.
up.
Dash attack is also kind of interesting because it can catch gyro up close. But it's a hard read, but it can
Zamba
work.
Not showing any
It's a good
signs of
burst option.
stopping soon. Floats in the air to try and cover the high recovery.
Nice. I like what he's doing here.
Not showing any signs of stopping
Oh.
soon.
Leaves the platform with the back
in the
air. Pretty good. Pretty solid.
air to
Then try to go back to
try-
cover the roll. But then again, it was like we were saying where Rob will try to jump towards you with the nair, and you can just up smash
cover
it
the high
here.
percent
Out
build
of
up on
shield.
Zamba and not
Either
showing
one
any
works.
signs of stopping soon.
You
Floats
do
in the
this,
air
and
to try
then you just charge an up smash and you
cover the
hit
high
him.
recovery, but Zamba
Free
does
kill.
get back onto stage, lands with Nair.
Yeah.
Can KO here with
Oh,
the next hit.
man.
It's going to be up throw.
I think he
Get back
should
on
have.
stage
Yeah,
lanes
he's
with
doing a
Nair.
lot of these, and it's putting him in a spot where he's kind of forced to air dodge. But yeah, I don't agree with these double jump floats at a
And KO
disadvantage.
here with the next hit.
It's
It's
okay
going
just
to
to
be
jump
up throw.
and
We now have a
then
last stock
mix up
situation,
when
and we
you
now have a
float.
Zamba who's going to be looking for a cheese.
Once again, a really important
Dash attack to
game
catch landings, that also works pretty well.
three
Because you
coming.
can just
we now
like
have a
duck under
Zamba
the
who's
nair
going to be
here.
looking for a cheese.
Once again,
'Cause, yeah, you can just like duck under the nair with the dash attack and
really
get him.
important
So that also
game three
works
coming in,
as a way to
coming
catch his
down here in
landings.
all of these sets at this
And nice falling through the platform with the nair.
point.
I like
Once
how he
again, a
juggled
really
here,
important game
where
three
he threw
coming
this
in,
up,
coming
doesn't
down here in all of
overextend, and then catches the nair when
these
landing.
sets at this
So
point.
yeah,
Speaking of coming down, Ling is going to punish
Get in
the
there.
nair coming down from Rob at this
Ooh,
point.
I like what he
Go.
did there.
Speaking of
'Cause
coming
most
down,
of the time in
Ling
the
is going
corner
to
now,
punish
he is in this area, either shooting gyro
Nair
or trying to
coming
jump
down.
over you. Personally, I would have naired there, but
the
this was
Rob
smart.
at this point. Here we go, back throw from Zamba. He's looking for
Staying
the
patient
fair
in the
into the
corner.
rotary
That's what
arms
you
for
have to
sure
do,
last.
which is Rob. Get him there,
Landing with
and then yeah, there it is. Catch the landing with nair.
Nair, but beat out by a
For sure
Yeah.
last.
Does that?
landing with
And-
Nair, but beat
Yep.
out by a Nair of Ling's own. Sending that gyro on.
Here's
the
where you
stage.
use
He wants
movement?
Probably
Oh,
like
okay.
the double toss here.
Yeah.
Ling
Nice.
catches
That was
up,
really
that gyro
good.
onto the stage.
I
He
like
wants
see how he's spacing his
probably
air
like the
movement.
double
He's doing that to avoid. He spaces around the nair. And also gyro.
toss here.
Falls with the
Yeah.
nair, and then he catches the jump out of shield. Super smart. Super
Ling
good.
catches- sending
So
that
he's
gyro onto
always
the stage. He wants
placing his
probably
air
like the
movement in
double
a
toss.
way, like we said earlier, to cover roll, avoid the gyro,
Yeah.
and cover roll, avoid gyro, and also anti-air him in case he tries to drift forward with an aerial. And then out of shield,
Yeah.
just like, why not? You're probably going to jump anyways. So
Ling
get you
catches
in.
him jumping.
Again, yeah.
Super
It's
good. Same
really
way
for-
game 2 ended, where you just caught the jump out of
You know
shield.
what?
So let's see this game.
Church, I like that one.
Oh, it is town.
It is town.
It is town.
Okay.
Okay.
all right.
Okay, as for player preference, I just wouldn't take Zamba here because I think Zamba's really comfortable on this stage. I just know like watching him versus DeBuzz, he plays on this stage a lot. And I know against like Cosmos, when he played him, he does really well on this stage too. So personally, if we would have known the player, I probably would have banned this stage. But just kind of my thoughts. But just something to think about.
You know what? Maybe
Yeah, on this stage, it's fine to
Maybe
pull
church-
turnip. It's kind of what we were saying, where if you're on Town and City, it's fine just to pull turnip here because you have enough time to do
it was
that.
banned. I don't know.
Could have been. I don't know what Ling's banned. Okay.
And Zomba's a pretty aggressive
Maybe
ROB
Church was
player,
banned. I don't
so
know.
I'm gonna guess, and a majority of the time he has, he always leaves the platform with some sort of aggressive option. So
Ling's bans are. I didn't get to
you
talk
can
to
like
him.
roll there or
It's
do
okay.
something else.
Ling is one for very few words as well. So, of course, once again, especially when you're at this point in the tournament, you want to be super.
And you can
well,
even
so,
use
of
JCFF
course,
back here for
once
the
again,
same
especially
way.
when you're
Just a clank would turn up, but I like
at
what
this
he's
point in
doing
the
there.
tournament, you want to be super locked
Dab,
in and focused. Pretty even percent so
respectful, and then he catches the projectile and disadvantage there.
coming out once again. Great catch.
But he
back
overextends,
on the gyro
so
thing. Keep in and focus. Pretty even percent
like,
still
I didn't
coming
like
out.
what he did here. I wouldn't have thrown that forward and fared. Instead, just keep center stage. You can always throw the gyro up to catch him jumping from ledge.
Once again,
And even
great.
bait rolls. And if we would have bait the roll, we could probably get a down tilt and get an even higher reward. Rather than overextending,
Catch
and
back
now you
on-
get to kind of like guess for your life here, and Zomba could have like down aired you and you would have
the
died.
gyro saying, "Give me that back. That's mine."
Speaking of catches, Zomba tried to catch Ling going high again,
Nice nair.
using that rotary.
And there's the gyro off of the platform. You can shield it. Also works. But yeah,
Ling was
there's
just
again.
like, no,
He's always
I'm
leaving the
gonna fast fall
platform
and
with
not
an
get hit by
aggressive
that.
option.
Manages to safely regain his
There's
footing
the
on the
double jump
stage. Air
float.
dodges,
Hold on, let me X this out.
and then spot dodges get hit by that.
But yeah.
Manages to safely regain his footing
Normal
on
ROB
the stage. Air
routine, the
dodges,
ROB agenda is he shoots a
and then
projectile,
spot dodges
and then he shoots another projectile. And this fair was really smart because it would have caught it.
as well, just to ensure his own safety.
Okay.
Interesting
Spot
roll
dodges
here.
as well, just to ensure his own safety.
I guess I don't know. That's kind of a weird roll because now you're in the corner. But okay. But yeah, there we were talking about with the nair. Is that full
And
hop?
then spot dodges as well, just to ensure his own safety.
Yeah, that was full hop. But yeah, you want to use full hop nairs to anti-air ROB. Super
Okay,
good.
I'm gonna be able to find a loose nair here, but once again, I feel like we're seeing a.
Interesting grab.
Okay, I'm gonna be
But
able to
instead
find
here,
a loose nair
What
here.
I would have done was just honestly just jump floated. He could fair me, but instead I would just jump float to either bait the roll or make him hold shield a little longer. But it doesn't really make sense to go for tomahawks against Zomba because he's always dropping his shield at a very specific timing. So I'd rather play around that rather than going for these grabs here. Because grabs with Peach are a lot better when it's like near the end of the game and your opponent's like kind of second guessing themselves on like maybe I should hold shield a little bit longer. It's better in those high pressure scenarios rather than early on in the game when they're still pretty confident and using the same timing makes
Again, I
sense.
feel like
So instead, just try to read the jump out of shield.
we're seeing a very much
Stay
more
consistent.
passive Zomba than we've seen. Definitely not pushing the advantage there here, but once again,
But
I
it's
feel like
also
we're seeing
okay
a very
here,
much more passive Zomba
where you
than
can
we've
double
seen.
jump here. That's kind of like the double jump JCFF moving we were talking about. It also avoids the angled laser, and you can go for a grab here because you can get a punish. I definitely would have gone for it here instead of. I guess the forward air makes sense, but it's a little harder to space. But pummel punishes, unstills your moves, free damage, and gets them off stage. Accomplishes the same thing this fair would have done if you hit it. So
Definitely not pushing the advantage as far.
I think
Go for the back
there
throw.
it would have been
You know what he's
better
looking
as a
for, the
mix
we've
up after using your air movement. Because Zomba, in a lot of scenarios, when he's either landing or he's in like kind of a rough spot, he uses shield and either rolls
Definitely
or
not
tries to jump.
pushing the advantage as
So,
far. Gonna go for the back.
I want to play
throw.
around that a
You
little
know what
bit
he's
more.
looking for at this point, but the hits are going to trade a little bit here. But
Hold on.
back throw. You know what he's looking for at this point, but the
Nair into a grounded move. Yeah. Just
are
have to
going to
jump
trade
there.
a little bit here, but Zomba's still
Jump away.
able to get the up tilt. Can't find the back. The hits are going to trade a little bit here,
So
but Zomba's
here's
still
something
able
cool you can
to
do
get the
here.
up.
Instead of dashing here where you can't get your shield up, you can SHJCFF or walk and then shield to catch Zomba's landings. Ling has not been using a lot of walking. He's been using a lot of air movement, which has been getting him caught. And you want to use more walking. It's definitely more consistent and just kind of better overall against ROB. So you can be more precise with your spacing and bring up shield whenever you want.
Tilt. Can't find the back air though.
There's the double jump. Oh, that was so
Looking
risky.
for the read on the jump, but just can't find anything. Ling is not giving
Interesting
him
spot
though.
dodge.
Looking for the read on the jump, but just can't find.
Interesting. But here I would have tried to shield instead of tried to do that because he's just gonna
Ling
jump
is
out
not
of shield
giving him an
anyways.
inch.
Thanks to Town
Just
and
stay
City, he is going
consistent
to have a hard time
is the
getting
main
those up
thing.
air KOs
And catching the landing when there's pretty
on
good
Ling.
too.
Ling's already shown upper
Nice. And then he catches the jump and disadvantage again. Super good.
propensity for
Leyling's doing
fantastic
really
DI,
well at that.
and a propensity to catch Samba jumping again.
Yeah, Papa Ajax
All right.
also my peripheral.
So
Propensity
here
to catch Samba jumping again.
I would have gone. Don't go on this platform. Honestly, being on this platform on Town and City is such a like life and death game you're gonna play against some characters. So I think it would have been better to go over here and float, and then just kind of go to ledge because you have the turn up anyways, and it would have helped you to get off ledge anyways against Zombo, rather than being here and it's like, now I have to like do something and Zombo's trying to chase you and pressure you with aerials.
Ajax also my peripheral view getting so excited.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know, Ajax is definitely one of the biggest supporters of New England. This might be it though. If Zomba can get the read in the
Let's go back.
Ajax is definitely one of the biggest.
So here,
also my peripheral view getting
what I
so
would have done
excited.
is
If you guys
float
don't know,
and then go for ground float up. We'll go for up air here because up air is super good when you're super low like this as Peach, just to avoid them going low and trying to challenge you. It's really good. And you can do some wacky stuff. Like one time I up aired someone here, I jumped, turn up, and then side beat and they died. So probably wouldn't work versus Rob, but up airing,
Ajax,
I like the low
Papa
float
Ajax
here.
also my peripheral view getting so excited.
Where
if
you
guys
float,
don't know,
and then you can just like up air right here to catch him, and then that's a free way to get back to ledge. So it's not bad.
Ajax is definitely one of the
Rather than like trying to do that there. So don't be afraid to defend yourself down there with the up air.
New England. This might be it though. If Zomba can get the read in the rotary arms off the ledge, looking good.
Comes back down from the Angel
Side
platform,
B,
only
playing
3.7.
patient. There's two projectiles. Gotta wait it out. And yeah, that
These
anti-air
two
is him.
competitors now 5.8. They're trying to keep it.
We're in their corner and on it because their local agent is a small business owner too.
They were the biggest music acts in the world, all headed to Doritos Music Fest 86.
Let me see something.
As close as 7% to separate these two competitors. Now 5 point.
Yeah. I think there it was interesting because I think he was thinking he was gonna down tilt, but you could have tried to defend space with Air there too. But then he tries to spot dodge down smash. I know Leyling likes to do that a lot, so it makes sense.
Trying to keep it as close as possible.
Very true.
Play patient here, gyro to laser, the usual, and that's where you have to
Zomba
walk
gonna be able
and
to get the
shield.
gyro hit into the laser, but meeting up with a smack from Peach. Let's see how this one's gonna go.
Really
Okay,
good.
turn up
And
into
yeah,
the
that's where
grab.
turn up is just also a good out of shield option because you can run up shield as a
Meeting
mix
up
up
with a smack
with
from
Peach. And that's how you can like punish
Now
him.
this
And then you can go for a grab here because like turnips get you grabs, which we already know is really good against
one's
heavies.
gonna go. Okay,
Then you
turn
can
up
down
into the
throw,
grab,
back
into
air.
the back air, but Zomba gonna fight their way out of this.
And that's where float helps in disadvantage because you can just avoid
now
something
we're
very
gonna see
quickly on
kind
the
of
ground.
these like loose two-piece
But
air.
here,
Zomba gonna
this is
fight
when
their
you can
way
start
out of
using
this,
up
and
air.
now we're gonna see kind of
Is Zomba likes to jump out of shield anyways, so then you can just kind of up air here to catch his landing, and that would have been better than the nair, especially with the turn up, because if you have the turn up and you up air, you can convert off of it compared to the snare here. So I think up air would have definitely been the better choice here to try to catch the jumps. I think reading Rob's jumps while you have the turn up in hand is a lot more powerful because then you get a big damage off of it.
like loose two-piece combos that don't exactly KO.
Instead,
Now we're gonna see
yeah,
kind of
don't
these,
just stay
like,
grounded.
loose
Zomba's probably gonna
two-piece
leave the
combos that
platform with an aggressive option, which then you can read with the turn up.
don't exactly
So
KO.
I don't agree with them trying to challenge him up there
The damage is all that
or
matters.
trying to land too quickly there, because
Loose
instead,
two-piece
when they
combos
just
that
use
don't
float as a
exactly
way to
KO.
quickly avoid something like right here, rather than trying to get really greedy and land on the
The
platform.
damage is all that matters.
And there he is,
Yeah, but even there,
jumping out
Ling
at
is doing such a good
disadvantage
job
again.
of using Peach's aerial drift plus the floats to make
Nice.
those combos. Yeah, but even there, Ling's doing such a good job
And yeah, pressures him at that
using
angle.
Peach's aerial drift
Throw
plus
it
the
there.
float.
If you get lucky, then you get it. But that's good because he helped to cover the
Yeah,
high
but even there,
recovery
Ling's
from
doing
Rob.
such a good job of using Peach's
Is
aerial
you
drift
just double
plus the
jump and then try to cover the high recovery. But I think he was also trying to get greedy to get back on the
floats to
platform, but
make
it
those
ended up
combos
working
not
out.
as potent as they usually.
So now that we have a lead and we're at like game 3, you camp and you play very patient. Because if you overextend once versus Rob, Rob can make comebacks on you. And Rob is super scary if he has rage. So this is when you have to start really slowing down the game as Peach and being and just play not to get hit really. You don't want to like throw a game all because you got impatient or you started to force kills or force your way in and try to rush things when you really don't have to as Peach. You have the lead. Peach can be very, very hard to kill and very annoying to kill if you're playing evasive with the lead. This is also why she's a decent doubles character, is because she can hold on to stocks really well if you use the right movement options.
While his own combos still have fully retained their potency. As potent as they
you want to use
are.
down air there.
His own combos still have
Nair, landing option. That's when you go for down air.
Fully retained their potency. Finds that fair onto Zomba. Now
I don't know if he had
potential
invincibility
final
or
stock of the tournament. Zomba would be out at 13th place.
Yeah, definitely wouldn't be happy
Float.
about that at all.
I think that was decent.
Zomba would be out
I'll give it to Ling on this one, where even though he like floated too early, he stalled with it. Like you kind of just waited.
Definitely wouldn't be happy about that at all. Going for the down.
And he didn't like try to land on
Down air,
Rob.
they're not going to be able to connect. Zomba looking for a back air of their own, not going to be able to.
And this is also
at all.
another. It's similar to the laser
air,
thing where you kind of use your jump out of float. So use float to bait an aerial to pressure you, and then you jump.
Zomba looking for a back air of their own.
And see how he slowly takes space here.
They're not going to be
He
able to
jumps,
connect.
then he fades back. He doesn't want to be too impatient out of the corner. You know, we don't want to throw a stock away. Then he air dodges, and then Rob tries to get him there, and then he takes space.
Of their own,
so
not
really
going to be able
smart.
to find it either. But here comes
Back
Ling,
air.
triple back air into the turnip toss. Zomba wants no part of it. Going to DI all.
Okay,
either.
that was
But here
smart.
comes Ling, triple back air into the turnip
Throws
toss.
this down,
Zomba wants
and then he
no
tries
part
to
of
read the jump, but yeah, he jumps
it. Going
away.
to DI all the way out.
So now we play
Trying to
patient in
reset,
neutral,
trying to find that down tilt, not able to get it yet.
and we kind of start to defend space.
Trying to
too.
reset, trying to find that down.
Yeah, don't be afraid to also cover your landings with the back air there, because Rob will try to chase your landing with the down
Not
tilt.
able to get it yet, does get it here. Tries to take Ling Ling off, but he gets to the ledge way too fast for Zomba, so no down air this time.
Nice roll in, because like we said, Robs are very good at reading that roll away.
Chases too far, tries to read the roll out as
But here, one issue I'm seeing a lot is Ling Ling's in the air a little too much. And when you're at high percents against characters with good anti-airs that can kill, you want to play grounded. Snake is a good example, because if you're in the air too much versus Snake and you're at like 100, you get up tilted and then you die. So to be very, very careful about that, especially if you want to maintain a lead, just play patient and play grounded. Don't force your way in.
everything that
here.
Zomba is trying.
And there's the turn up to
You notice
anti-air.
I'm saying
Very
try a
smart.
lot.
Trying,
and that's
yeah.
because
And don't overextend
he's
there
trying,
either.
but
Like
as
just,
well, everything
just
that
play
Zomba
it very
is trying. You
vanilla.
notice I'm saying try a
Try.
lot.
Like you can try to run up in air. Don't try to like get really greedy with dash attacks there. Instead, just keep it simple. Because
Yeah.
these percents when you're playing around Rob's shield, you have to worry about the up smash. Because otherwise, like a lower percents, up smash doesn't really net him much reward. And it's like frame 12 anyway, so it's not that great. So you just have to play it
Trying
patient.
but not succeeding.
Don't
Finally does
overextend
succeed
if you
though
don't-
with
if
the
you're
up
not
smash out of
confident.
shield to take this stock. 62.3% extra
Yeah,
credit.
just play it patient here. Nice
Ling
air
has
movement.
put the up smash out of shield to take this
So
stock.
he plays grounded for the most part, and then once he sees laser,
extra
he
credit.
then plays airborne, and then he fades in with this fair to try to cover that airspace. So that was really
Ling
smart.
has shown such
That's-
out of shield to take this stock. 62.3%
Yeah,
extra
he
credit.
fades in after the gyro
Ling
to
has
cover
shown
that
such
airspace, which is good. Because like we said, Rob will shoot gyro and then try to approach with nair, so that fair is
Strong
really smart. But
ability.
here,
62.3% extra credit.
here,
Ling has
instead
shown
of pulling, you can
such
throw. This is when you
patience.
throw it up, and then you can use something like up tilt or just like shield. Shield also would have been perfect here. Or instead of dashing back like Ling did, you could have walked backwards. So I think there's a few spots where Ling definitely could have walked, and it would have gave him a free parry punish.
Strong ability to KO here and now whenever he
So play
decides.
patient here.
Yeah, also
Oh
probably
no,
aiming to
don't
get
use
Zomba.
that. Don't
Ability
use
to KO
this.
here and now whenever
Especially
he
with the
decides.
lead, you don't want to get really greedy with these.
Yeah, also
Instead, just
So
stick,
A
stay
strong
simple with
ability
it.
to KO here
Where
and
you're doing
now
what you did
whenever
earlier.
he
Because after he lands, he's probably going to use a grounded move. So this would have been perfect to just float, go for the back air to punish. Or you could have gone for a tomahawk here. Tomahawk would have been perfect, where you float, go towards him, and tomahawk grab
yeah.
afterwards, and then you could get the pummel and then get him off stage. So that actually would have been optimal right
Also
there.
probably
knowing
aiming to get
Zomba's
Zomba all the
habits.
way on this side and then trying to read
see, he's
another
trying to
jump
force
with
his
another
way out of
aerial, but here comes
disadvantage
Zomba, though,
here.
gonna be able to
Drifting
find the up
in.
tilt up air.
Now you're
Not
taking
to be
all
able
this
to KO, though.
unnecessary
Town and City is a
damage.
very tall stage.
Nice.
So once again,
Oh, cool.
though,
All right, we have a lead with the gyro again. This is perfect.
Tall stage.
So that was really nice, and that's also why using double jump and JCFF aerials is good because you can catch the gyro. Okay, we have this. Now you really just camp with the gyro. It's really hard for him to do much about it, and you just play even more patient now because now the neutral's simplified because you have this gyro.
Once again, though, Ling gonna take away that
nice
gyro
poke with the
from
nair,
Zomba.
and then you threw it away. Really?
Now
That's
Zomba
okay.
stage. So once again, though,
You keep it. I like he was holding it. And then you can go for stuff like Z-drop down air, especially after this landing here.
gyro from Zomba, and now Zomba gonna
And
just
see,
go a
he's
little
going for
bit
these
higher.
dash attacks.
Ling gonna do a
It's
nice
kinda
job
greedy.
of calling out the approach there, but now once again,
Here it is again, where he could have just used
go a little bit
walking.
higher. Ling
You
gonna
throw it
do
up,
a nice job of
you
calling
do
out
that,
the
and then you walk forward and shield. So, see, dash is pretty committal in this game because you can't pull it out of your initial dash. Just go for
approach
walking.
there, but now once again,
Catch the
Zomba
landing.
just trying to find their way in.
Yeah, you'll notice Zomba has very
Air
rarely managed to
movement.
get grabs. The few grabs he has
There it is again. Yeah, he's being in the air
gotten,
too
he
much.
has executed on very well and gotten a lot of mileage off of. But more often than not, he goes for those landing dash grabs. Or he
Okay.
goes for those tomahawks. And
Okay.
more mileage off of. But
So he
more
does
often
this.
Than not, he goes for those landing.
So he tries to go for the up air that'll end the game. And this is also a good way to mix up with up air is just to like get the kill when Rob's like really high here.
Dash
But
grabs.
yeah.
He goes for
Don't overextend. You could have up tilted here instead of just trying to jump there with nair because you're already close to the ground. So
tomahawks
up
and
tilt
Ling is
definitely
more
would
than
have been
ready
better
for
to
it,
get
but
that
something
added
like a short
damage.
hop nair almost pops.
He nairs there, which
Two
is really
tomahawks and
smart.
Ling is more than ready for it, but something like
He
a
gets
short
hit.
hop nair
And then, yeah, he tries to nair there to cut off any aerial
almost
pressure
pops
from
him
Rob.
too high.
Sign up as an Expedia
yeah.
member and see more of the world's lemons.
Good morning, Aviator. This is your captain speaking.
It's a pretty close game.
Fun yet?
Up
So
with
let's
the
see.
gyro.
Gets him there.
God, you know,
Take a look, Lyric.
Yeah, he's in the
looking
air
for that
too
fair
much,
so
but then he gets it there. That's where the full hop
much,
movement
gonna
and
be able
double
to
jump
find it.
cancel movement. Because you see here,
Take a look,
if you're at this
Lyric.
angle, just to give a
He's
visual,
looking for
you
that
can just jump over it after your short hop, and then you're able to punish. So that's a way to mix up your air movement. Just a visual of
so
it.
much. Gonna be able to find it. One more, definitely at this
Nice. I like how he holds the turnip
point
there.
off stage.
He
We'll
up airs.
do it. I
back-
love going up the up
Oh.
air, but
Yep,
we're talking about
that was the
definitely
problem.
at this point
Where
off
he does the
stage
up air,
will do it.
then you don't overextend with his back air. Like we said,
I
don't overextend when juggling.
love
Just get to the
going
ground
up the up air,
first.
but
Just
we're
get
talking
to the
about-
ground first. But what also definitely hurt him was when he was in disadvantage, he tried to force his way out of there. And he took all that unnecessary damage, as well as he relied a little bit too much on air movement. Try to get on Rob.
the
It's
point
better
off stage, we're looking for
to
that
use
fair
air movement as like a mix up at a disadvantage like this, or when you're at that mid range and neutral versus Rob.
so much. Gonna be able to
And he
find
already
it.
shot laser.
One more, definitely at this point off stage will do it. I love going up
So,
the up
yeah.
air, but
Definitely
we're talking about
overextended
the
there.
Zom
And there
Bear,
are a few
and we
spots
are
where he
going to
definitely could have
game
walked
number
into
5
shield.
last.
There's a whole
Instead.
PG
Or try to catch
stats
the landing
video
with
on it
nair
for a
and
reason,
try to trade.
and that is because it
That
does
also
things
works.
like that. Catches Ling,
Or even up
lingering.
smash. That can also work too.
Coming out the door.
So let's look at this
Deserve it.
final
Zomba
game
Ling.
here.
Ling thinking really
Where are we
hard,
going
as
to?
he should, on which stage.
The counter. I wasn't trying to win.
Same very true. Ever.
Back on PS2, this is fine.
And their
Just don't go back to
current
town. So there's the
is
laser again.
3-3, so winner will be.
And that's how
going
you want to
five
use
ever.
turnip, is to
Their current sector
anti-air,
is
like around this
3-3.
range. So he shoots the gyro. He already shot the laser at the beginning of the game, so it was very smart to
So winner
guess that Rob was probably going to approach with the nair.
We'll
So
be
I
pulling
like
ahead,
that.
and we're going on Pokemon
There's the gyro to laser,
Stadium 2.
and you just have to wait for both of
Definitely
them.
expected that one, but we're seeing a little bit of a projectile.
And yeah,
About
gyro
going
to
on
laser again,
right now.
so we're seeing a pattern.
Two
And now we're
projectiles
going to
flanking in
play
midair,
patient.
but
I love how he played this first
it
part of
is
the
Ling.
game.
A little bit of a projectile
Playing
battle going
patient
on
at this
right now.
range, kind of run up shielding. There's the gyro.
And the two
And
projectiles.
then he noticed, I also am kind of noticing, like, after he shoots the gyro now, he's starting to shield. So that was
That was
very
quite-
smart of him. And then normally, once Zomba shields, he
Flanking
jumps
in
out of
midair,
it.
but it is Ling that opens Zomba up first with that short
yeah.
hop dare.
But yeah, we're seeing gyro to shield
in
now.
midair, but it is Ling
So
that
this is
opens
when it's
Zomba up
really
first.
good to go for tomahawks, as you can go for this. But, or you can just read the jump, stay consistent, or try to bait out the roll.
That
Either one
short
works.
hop dare. Now landing nair, Zomba good. Roll away
Nice.
to avoid
I like what he did
that
here.
short hop dare.
Or he did
Now
that.
land-
But he doesn't overextend here. Back air would have been okay. Or just use movement to bait the roll and to get a free down tilt. but he opts to just retreat to the platform here, which isn't bad, and then leave the platform with the back air. But he retreated there just to space around the nair option, which is also not bad. Make it as hard as possible for Rob to land that nair on you.
The down tilt, it would have Dare now landing nair. Zomba.
I think in this spot, maybe it would have been better to chase with down tilt.
Way to avoid the down tilt, it would have certainly been a lot of.
But yeah, he's definitely air dodging in a lot of these spots where instead you want to just jump away and drift to ledge while saving your float.
It would have certainly been a lot of percent.
All right, here we go. Those Zomba starting off with the fair. Can't find anything else.
Okay, and also just kind of a note to keep in mind.
Good.
Where if you ever somehow catch the gyro first, don't throw it immediately back because his laser will
Anything else? Good catch though by Ling Ling, but I feel like Zomba is now trying to read where Ling Ling is going to land with the aerial.
Nice. I like that.
Well,
I like this a lot
Zomba
better.
Is now trying to read where Ling Ling is going to
land. It was like I was talking about where you just kind of float down here
with the aerial
and then you can kind of land there.
Great nair out though.
There's the turn up in.
Oh, he tried to catch the
great
gyro
nair
there.
out though.
Yeah, he does this to catch the nair afterwards. But personally, I still would have kept up the pressure to kind of catch that roll there from him anyways out of the corner. Because the gyro's already over here. So there's no need to be too scared of Rob when he's in the corner. We don't have to worry about that. Maybe laser, that's not that bad. But keep the pressure up because the gyro's already not at his disposal. So we can just keep pressuring Rob.
There's the turn up in.
But yeah, he tries to catch it there, unfortunate.
Ling was trying to pick up gyro and just ended up slapping it instead. It was...
Get out of here. Okay.
Oh, yeah, this is when you want to use the nair. Especially this close.
Get out of here.
You do it, and then you full hop nair to catch the jump out of shield.
Zomba gonna be able to find the nair here. Gonna throw the gyro. Can't get the laser hit
back
as
air,
well.
playing
But
it
once
patient,
again, doing such a fantastic job. Ling gonna be able to find the laser hit as well. But
yeah. This is. I'm liking how he's just jumping away to space around the nair. So keep this in mind when you're doing air movement. Is to just not hold forward again.
Doing such a fantastic job. Ling gonna be able to find the
right,
up air
throw it
turn
up.
up. But
What did
once
he do here?
again,
So it was really good here. He caught him, his jump.
Job.
Or was it the aggressive option off the
hit
platform?
As well, but once again,
he catches the aggressive option or the immediate like runoff off the platform, which Zomba has been doing.
Such a fantastic
and then
job.
he converts off of it. So then this is when you up tilt, or you can just drop through the platform nair. I think that's what he was trying to do to stay consistent.
Up air, turn up air, but once again, just the percentages aren't looking too good. Now, honestly,
nice roll. I love that because he definitely does not use that at all. So this was such a good surprise mix-up. Is you run up shield, you roll, and then you can punish the back. So that was really smart.
Zomba does best on PS2. That might actually do it. Okay,
100.5 to 100.3.
Nice.
This is as
Okay,
okay.
here we go.
I like how we use the air movement here. Double jump, avoid the angle, whatever. And then you want to land with the nair. Just keep it, because like, Ling Ling hasn't been too consistent with this game plan. Like, he's kind of going for these odd plays where he can just go for the read. Instead, he kind of just like goes for the down in there. Instead, just keep it simple with the nair. You already know Zomba wants to roll out of shield and a lot of spots there. So I think doing your regular game plan of nair would have been better.
This is as neck and neck.
You already know what Zomba wants to do.
And it's going to be Zomba that finds the first conversion using that.
And yeah, even here, just pull turn up.
Up air takes the first stock lead that we've seen him with.
And I like that.
Conversion using
Wait,
that.
this is what we were talking about with the air dodge. You double jump and you just kind of air dodge. Neutral air dodge through the laser. So you end with like no lag. And then he goes in the air and then defends himself. But I still want to see more ground movement from him.
Some time. We'll just have to see if he can
actually spaces around the nair.
Yeah. Go Zomba gonna go high in the sky. Does not want to come down on stage.
Okay.
Doritos Flamin' Hot Nacho. Unleash your flamin' hot.
Gonna opt for the air dodge into the nair. So smart.
So let's
in the
look
sky.
back.
Does not
Up
want to come
air,
down on.
But honestly, here it would have been better.
Zomba gonna go high
was
in the sky.
Instead of just overextending with this fair, because we know fair is too slow with Peach, right? So it's really hard to pressure Rob when he's not in the corner with fair. So it probably would have been better. It was nice to bait out the nair here or the air dodge. Maybe you could have side beat, but I think it would have been better instead of chasing with this fair to go what you were doing where you kind of down air to catch his land after he lands. Basically.
Gonna opt for the air dodge into the nair. So smart. in the
But
sky.
yeah,
Does
there it
not
is
wanna come
again
down
where
safely.
another
Gonna
habit
opt for the air
of
dodge
nair,
into the
shield.
nair.
Then you want to jump down here because he's probably going to use a grounded move instead of just jumping again.
They're so smart. Definitely, we have not seen them from Zomba yet, but now Ling gonna take on
But yeah, here,
dodge into the nair. So
here,
smart.
honestly,
Definitely,
again, don't roll away. You can just like wait for the laser because Rob will try to chase you with laser, but Peach's get up or this animation when she's on the ground is pretty low,
we have
so
not
you can
seen
just like wait for the laser here rather than trying to roll away,
them from
which is
Zomba
really
yet,
common.
but now Ling gonna take on at least 50% of damage at this point.
Maybe more.
Nice, and that's what you want to say, float.
Okay. Good wait. Good wait. Because if Ling did not
Damage at this point.
maybe more if he.
But I like how he waited here. And then what you can do here is kind of jump away, or you can even like jump Z catch it, or even JCFF nair off of the ledge. And I think that catches it.
Good wait. Good wait.
With
Because if
decent
Ling did
timing.
not float in place there and had immediately upbeat, he was getting spiked.
But yeah, that's
but
what
it's
you
not
want to
good
say
wait.
with
Because
flow
if Ling did not float in
is you
place
can just
there
go
and had
low against
immediately
Rob
upbeat, he was
and then kind of mix up from there. I think he
getting
still had
spiked,
his
but it's
float.
not going to matter. He never gets the chance to make it back to stage because Zomba just immediately finds the rotary arm.
Okay, speaking of Zomba, just
Because Zomba just immediately.
But yeah, he definitely
It's not
should have
going to matter,
tried
because
to
if Ling
catch
did
this
not-
gyro here
At this point.
instead.
Maybe more if he. Okay. Good wait.
Or just try to wait on ledge, which honestly I think would have been the best thing, is just wait even longer. But catching the gyro
Good
definitely
wait, because
helps
if Ling
because
did not
you can
float
use
in
it as a
there
way to stop him from doing that,
immediately
as well as throw it here so he can't just like
upbeat, he was getting spiked, but it's not going to
It
matter.
acts
He never
like a
gets the
turn-up
chance to make it back to stage
if
because
you're ever
Zomba
able to
just
get gyro.
immediately finds the rotary arm.
okay.
But yeah, he
Make it
should
back
have.
to
You
stage
can also
because
catch him
Zomba
with
just
nair here,
immediately finds
which
the
works.
rotary arm.
I think there would have been perfect to just like go for ground float nair to catch him.
Okay, speaking of
Yeah, I think
Zomba, just
Ling
going to
Ling's just
extend
kind
this lead
of
with rage as much
out
as
of it at this
possible.
point.
I mean, last it is fleeting
But
away.
you
I
gotta stay
wanna
strong.
extend this lead with rage as much as
He tries to
possible.
catch you there.
I
you
mean,
shield.
last
Get him
it is
there, and then there's an air movement again. We want to play
fleeting
more
away. I don't
grounded.
want to count Ling Ling out, but this is so hard to get back. Up air is going to connect here, and Ling just has to find a way to get this stock. A loose spare might actually do it, but from center stage, it might not.
Okay, he did it there, which was good. He caught the coming in with the nair with the up smash.
KO with enough rage on.
But yeah, there he's in
This
the air
feels like
again.
such a Zomba thing to do as well. It's a close game 5 set, and then you're like, this feels like such
Yeah,
a
you're
Zomba
just kind
thing to
of
do as
not
well.
going
It's
by
a
his
close
game plan of wait for him to
Close game.
land with the turn up, and then you could
game
catch the
5
landing.
set, and then you're like, I'm mad. I don't want to lose anymore. It's time to do Zomba things.
Yeah, he's
landing with Nair right
not
here
doing
forces
well
Ling
at
onto
catching
the
his
platform.
landings,
Going
and now he's going for like
to be
stuff like
punished here
side
for the
B.
missed side beat as well. Ling
It's
trying to
kind
make
of
his way back
scrambling
in,
at
but
this point.
Zomba is showing no openings. We're not seeing the jump habit we saw earlier. We're not seeing the roll habit we saw earlier. He's completely
But yeah, there's
rock
the
solid in
ground
defense, and
move.
so it
Hold on, let me go
Ling
back.
trying to make his way back Ling onto the platform. Going to be a punish here for the
There,
missed side
and then
beat as
gyro,
well.
and then after he shoots gyro, he always
Ling
nairs,
trying to make his
so.
way back in, but Zomba
And there's the roll out of shield again, and then whenever, and yeah, there's the jump.
is showing no openings. We're not seeing the jump habit we saw
But yeah, whenever he's at that range,
earlier.
it
We're gonna make
seems,
his way
whenever
back in, but
he
Zomba
at around this range or after he rolls or around the platform, he always wants to shoot a gyro
is showing
here.
no openings.
It's
We're
even the
not
same
seeing
thing
the
over here where he's in the corner and then he just throws it.
jump habit we saw earlier. We're not seeing the roll
It's
habit
kind
we
of
saw
another
earlier.
habit I'm
He's
seeing.
completely
That was a
rock
good
solid
mix
in
up
defense. Habit
because
we
it was
saw
kind of what
earlier.
we
We're
were
not
saying
seeing the
earlier
roll habit we
about
saw
after
earlier.
Rob lands, he will kind of come in
He's
and then wait,
complete.
hold on.
We're not seeing the jump habit we saw earlier. We're not seeing the roll.
Yeah, after he
habit we saw
lands, he likes to
earlier.
shield, and then after, and then use some sort of ground move. So that was good on his
He's
part.
completely rock
to try to
solid in
read
defense,
that.
and so it has to be a poke that Ling finally finds to take this stock out.
No, he was in his
Defense, and so it has to be
airspace.
a poke that
Yeah,
Ling
we're
finally
seeing
finds to
Dare's
take
just
this
not reliable enough to try to anti-air him at this place. Like, Dare has a place, but it's definitely not here to try to escape the
stock
corner.
out.
You can go for something way better,
Defense, and so it has to be a poke
which
that
is
Ling
Z-drop back
finally
air.
finds to take this.
Is you G-drop back air here, and I think you can probably land on the platform to shield, to get access to shield. So instead, I think that would have been better. Instead of Ling Ling is always trying to escape the corner by double jump floating and then trying to down air, back air is a lot better. because he's always going to try to pressure you with the nair after he shoots the gyro anyways, like we saw here.
Stock out.
Ooh, okay, gonna be able to find the nair.
Oh,
Goes for the laser hit.
no.
Laying off stage. This could be it.
Oh, that was so
Unfortunately,
lucky.
the down air.
And there it is again.
Laying off stage. This could be it. Unfortunately.
So yeah, we throw the gyro. I honestly would have just went and dared there, because if he rolls in, he's in the corner. If he rolls away, it's fine, but he's most likely going to jump out of shield anyways or go for this up tilt, which he is mixing up with.
Down air is actually going to be beat out by Peach's parasol at this point. And once again, we're going to see
that was kind of lucky that he avoided the down air.
Happen in real time, going for the
but here,
at this point.
Like we said, fair's too slow, and just instead go for the nair. Like you can, like it was a good idea to try to catch him landing with an aerial, and instead you want to try to intercept him with Peach's way faster
in
nair.
real time, going for the nair, it almost KOs off the top, and now
there it is again. Double jump to escape, and he probably would have floated there too. Let's make sure.
Happen in real time, going for the nair.
He's in the spot. Instead of he drifts in, and I think most likely he would have floated there anyways. But Zomba caught him there. So overall, this game, it kind of seems like Zomba pretty much took advantage of all of Ling Ling's bad habits throughout the set, which was playing a little too airborne when you want to just like, it's okay to chill at mid-range and play grounded and walking. He kind of got sloppy with getting his landings and kind of capitalizing. What does he do after he lands? A ground move. Not really staying consistent with covering some of the roll options, as well as getting impatient and disadvantaged and using his jump too early. So, and always drifting in there. So I think those kind of covers everything. So hope this helps.